AOL, Discord. You ever hear of Discord?
Yes.
That's AOL.
That, actually, I've heard.
Adorama's got a Discord now, and it's like legit like AOL. I'm like looking at this shit like, God damn, remember bots? You used to like.
Oh my God, dude.
Live in 58 minutes. Nope, published. That means we should be live. Let me just double check. If we're live, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna refresh
what it
the
do,
link.
Baby?
We in the studio, as every Saturday, so to speak. I'm with Steve Irvy, Steve Sweatpants. What do you go by? I don't even know what to call you anymore.
I don't know what to call myself anymore either.
Where'd Sweatpants even come from?
My mom used to make fun of me all the time because that was my excuse to not like do shit. So anytime like didn't want to wash the dishes or like take out the garbage, I was like, oh, I gotta go put my sweatpants on. And then it kind of evolved into like, I like people to be comfortable and I like to be comfortable. So now like Steve Sweatpants is about being mad comfortable.
That's my dad. That's my dad. That motherfucker. He's like cargo sweatpants, Velcro shoes. That dude is comfortable.
As you should.
That
Very
dude is
cozy.
comfortable. Yo, the chat is getting weird, so I'm just gonna try to open you guys up on a laptop because my iPad for some reason is acting weird. If you're in the chat, I know you're there. I could see you come up on this as well, so hang tight, guys. I'm sorry. So yeah, I pretty much, we met through Adorama and all the Street Dreams stuff. And first of all, the Street Dreams thing is done so well.
Thank you.
It's really like a collector piece.
Yeah, it definitely is.
It's amazing. I think we lost our way when it came to publications, and I feel like Street Dreams, like when I got one of your issues, I was like, oh shit, this is. I was like,
honestly, for us, because like Eric, myself, Mike C, everybody that's involved with the magazine, we're all we're all nerds. So we all grew up loving comic books, or either comic books or like, you know, the Thrasher magazines or like the Game Informers or like the Word Up magazines and all these different kind of publications. So when it kind of got to the point where we wanted to create a platform that we felt that a lot of people weren't getting shine, it just made sense to nerd out over all these different kind of people and make them feel as important as we feel like they were.
Well, let me ask you something. Do you feel like you lucked out now that like Thrasher's cool? Like you see these girls that would never go near a skateboard wearing Thrasher across their chest.
It's the same thing with video games too. Like people used to make fun of me like for playing Zelda, and I'm like, oh man, you're gonna play Zelda for 10 hours? I was like, yeah, word. Like when I was playing Majora's Mask, like nobody thought that was hot. Like
Majora's Mask, when you have to play the same day over and over and over again.
It's one of the most difficult games of all time. I don't think I've actually even beat that game, but yeah, all these things that you were. It's funny, like kind of this is like the society of like media and like all the art world is kind of transformed into it's kind of evolved into like nerd culture. Honestly, everybody, the more nerdy you are about something, like the more people are invested into it. So we really love all.
It got kind of cool, right? Because there was such an abundance of like welcoming for the MCU and all this other stuff. And I'm just gonna raise your mic a little bit. Yeah. All right, that should help out. All right, so yeah, someone's saying his mic is really low, so I got you set up. All right, so I got the chat over here. Forget the iPad. All right, so I think what happened was it got kind of cool, right? Comic-Con used to be nothing. Now it's overabundantly jammed. The movies are making tons of money. So everyone's like, well, why didn't I know about this? And then they go into Wikipedia and they start going into it. And like, you don't know that Joker, I know this Joker, and all that stupid shit. So then all the shit we were doing, now it's like, they're trying to like muscle in because it's what's making everyone's paying attention to, right? Yeah, exactly. So I think you guys hit this soft spot real hard at a perfect time, and you did it well. There's a lot of people that hit things but don't do it right. I think you guys really did a good job. When I was at that Grammy party, that first thing we did together, I was like, I looked around, I was like, I went into that skeptical. I was like, oh, fucking hipster shit. Some like
we're gonna be drinking PBRs all night and lattes.
Oh, well, look, I was looking around. I was like, there's kids that probably don't even know what the hell they're doing here, but they're here because you know Street Dreams is here, and it's like, and then I got it. I was like, no, there's something else here. And then you did the gallery show for the magazine that was like a throwback issue.
Yep, that was 13. Yeah.
That was, first of all, that was an amazing layout. And really great names, really great. Can they still get that issue?
That issue is sold out, the print version, but we still have the digital PDF available, so you can be able to get that.
Where can they get that?
Store.streetdreamsmag.co.
Okay, so write that down. But
Store.Street Dreams. Yeah, there you go. If you Google Street Dreams store.
yeah, it's a great issue, and I mean,
It's one of my favorites too.
I loved it. I love being surrounded by and the way you guys printed them out to show all the registration marks and stuff. And then I'm shooting there, and then that's the one where Schmuck showed up.
Yeah.
Remember that guy with like the Karl Lagerfeld hat?
God.
And I was like, this is something missed on this one.
It was. There's a certain kind of energy that happens with some of these things. I think this is a society of people that like to be seen.
yeah. Wow, that's a good way to put it.
So like some situations, sometimes we those types of folks walk in, and then you just try to find a very clever way to be about it, because I do want to be accepting to everybody, and at the same time, you want to make sure that you have like a really balanced kind of energy.
Wow, this ain't your mic's low.
Should I try to talk like this?
Hang on a second. Let me try to boost you up without freaking it out. How about now, guys? Let me know if that's okay.
I'm gonna should clip this on my ear.
Nah, you know what it is? I think it's when I have two mixing into the same. This is the first time I'm doing it this way.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna find out. Robbie, thanks for that. So the chat's asking a bunch of stuff here. Let's see. Photography, Seth, doing some headshots for nonprofit soon. Watermark, yay or nay? I say nay.
Nay.
I don't think watermarks are ever really a good idea. You see some of mine because I literally cannot find the original anymore.
Yeah.
And back in like 2003, you had to put a watermark on it.
Yeah.
Now I think that's over.
It's kind of evolved. You want your work to kind of stand out.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The watermark. I'm not to say that I'm not mad at it, but I would say like if you have a choice, I would try to go not to do with that.
Yeah, you kind of want your work to stand beyond having to put your name on, like, hey, I did that, you know, and not for nothing, if someone's going to sling it around, they're going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
But at least, you want to have work that people want to grab you for you. Oh, cool, this will make us better. Okay, so now I know. I know. Okay. Robbie, Christian, everybody's, sounds like you're picking up echo from him. Probably. I mean, we're in an echoey room and I'm right next to him. So, all right, calm down with the mics. Is it really that bad? Is there really? Jeez, let me just double check the audio on this. Nah, it's not that bad.
A magazine that was like a.
Nah, we're good. All right. So, and my
This
internet
camera
here
is
sucks.
so fire, honestly. I'm just mind boggled by this.
I'm boggled by every time I see you guys. You don't know about stuff like this, and like you're supposed to be more modern than me. I'm the schmuck that's like.
I am a hermit, dog. I just literally been playing my Switch, and I feel like I fall asleep after that.
Yeah, I don't know you. I fall asleep from this position of the Switch. Like,
You're just like that was me last night.
So let me ask something. Like, I feel like we're on two sides of the coin. Like, you're more on the influential side. I was more on the BTS, like, just be a pro. You didn't really have an identity side.
Yeah.
And now I feel like we're both going like this, right? Like, you're trying to get closer to the pro end, and I'm trying to get, like, out of the shadow a bit.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's what made this such an interesting chat to have. Where do you think we're going? Because I think influencers are cracking, personally. And I think pros that can actually have an identity are going to come forward. I don't know, where do you think we're going?
I think that I feel like the influencer wave is probably going to be here for a while, but it's going to be evolving into a different kind of way of an influencer. I think that a lot of companies and brands now are getting more on game that a person with a bunch of followers doesn't necessarily mean they'll do good work.
Okay.
So I think that there's more of those kind of situations happening where brands are just being more aware of, like, well, this person is actually not qualified for this, and you can hire the person who with 10,000 followers, which is still a fuckload of followers. It's not a normal number, but like these people are just as qualified, or like even like the social media part is just an avenue to show your work as a portfolio. So I'm more of a half glass full kind of guy. I've seen like where that's turning, because I hate to be. I understand that I am into that in the range because of my followers. I seem like an influencer, but I'm really passionate about what I do, and I always try to figure out ways to like not make it about my following, but more about my emotional and my work. So then that's why it made me a little bit different from other kind of like stereotypical influencers.
Yeah.
I guess you know what I mean.
I think
there is a big disconnect.
There is a huge disconnect
with the actual people knowing what. Not everybody with like a huge following means that they know what they're doing. Some people just found a really good niche, or some people understand how to market themselves, which is all right. But like when it comes, a lot of brands are now understanding that like just because you have this doesn't mean you know how to do that shit. And I feel like that's kind of refreshing.
Well, it's kind of interesting, right? Like we're starting to see these like Nike campaigns where the person shooting it is just as important as like the shot. So it's kind of like where they go. They used to look at heavy social media followings as like free advertisement while they're doing the job. Like Nike would be like, you got 150,000 followers? Cool, that's an extra bonus for us to use you or whatever. But I mean, I don't know, man. I when I met you, I was like, first of all, when I signed on to Adorama, it was like this list of influencer names that I had to get to know, and I was like, fuck. And I was like, I don't know, man. Let me. And then we did the thing together. And I was like, this guy's right. Then I looked at your work, and I'm like, I see why people are drawn to it, and it's solid work. Would you run a full head-on set? I don't know.
No,
but
and I can't. And I will admit to it that do not ask me to run your lights.
Yeah.
I do not know nothing about that.
Well, that's what I loved. I'll never forget the minute. Like it was just recently. I literally just got off a plane from Vegas. I'm a fucking zombie. And then I saw you on the train, and I'm like coming back with like 2 cases full of gear, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm about to go shoot Colin Kaepernick, and all you had was like a camera and a lens. I was like, how the hell do I get a style that people only want me to shoot with a camera and lens?
The reason what's really interesting what happened to me, because I feel like this question has been happening a lot for me, and then people tend to ask this a lot, like, how did this happen for you, or like, how did you get to these places? The power of being nice to people goes a long way.
Hell yeah.
They
gotta want to work with you.
You gotta want to work with you. And then I really try to be cordial. I try to be cordial as fuck with everybody, dog. Like I really even if I feel that type of way a little bit, I really try my hardest to make sure I have high energy. that I'm enthusiastic.
Until they turn around.
Until they run with like, this guy, and kick him in the back. But I really just think I really try to be a bigger picture kind of dude, and I know it sounds cliche and shit, but I really try to look for the betterment in situations, and I could be. I am a New Yorker, so I complain about stuff all the time, but it's complaining with context, you know. I really try not to make that affect my job, and then at the same time, you know, when I got on Instagram, maybe 7 years ago, I never got suggested. A lot of my friends around me were getting suggested. So I never got to be crowned with that stuff.
What do you mean suggested?
So back in the day, being a suggested user was the whole way that a lot of people got.
The Explorer thing.
I never got that, not once. And then a lot of that kind of I was really tight about that at the time, but at the same time, it kind of taught me how to build my portfolio out and then really try to understand what I'm trying to communicate. So yeah, my following that I've grown is an all natural following, and that's why it's so crazy to me, because it's I didn't play that game.
Yeah, it snowballs though. You know, when you go on someone's page and it says also followed by, and it's your friends, and you're going what are they looking at this for? Let me take a look. Or someone that has some sort of level to them. Yeah. You know, when you have another pro that's following your page, people see that, they go oh, maybe I should be paying attention. That's a lot of weight right there, right? So just as much as people follow you following somebody else gives this stamp, I feel. And I don't know, influencer just sounds like such a evil term to me.
It is. It's another term that it kind of. There's always it's like a fad term. There's always there's always this next thing that comes out that people want to be, and then you know, this influencer is a new version of a celebrity to people, because they feel it's easy to attain, and oh man, all I got to do is post some photos, or all I got to do is post some.
See, that's the problem. If it starts with all I got to do, you're already in the wrong headspace.
That's what I feel that's what happens with a lot of people. Sometimes maybe it's a little bit more deep rooted than others, but you know, it's just crazy. A lot of people, there is a sense of oh, I don't want to working smarter and not harder, but then at the same time you want to figure out what this is actually mean to you. You know what I mean? My dad was an electrician. I didn't want to be an electrician, dude. And I love seeing the process of seeing a house coming from start to finish and completing the process. So I just needed to find a parallel for myself. So that influence and stuff to me is just also it's just weird, you know. I don't. It's a weird thing to want to attain, but at the same time, I can understand I guess why people would be obsessed with it, because they think it's easy. It's a new form of celebrity. It's
I don't even know if it's that. It's just that it's easy. When when I started shooting, there was this immortality to it. You kind of were oh, I shot it, therefore there's proof of existence. Yeah. But no one really saw it because there was nothing to post it on. It just went within the arm's reach. And now it's like, I feel like, look at every girl that has to take a picture of fucking lunch looking cute next to like a pink ice cream cone.
Yeah.
It's like, I got it. You ate something.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't.
Like, it's like this is like the whole tea wave and the herbal teas and stuff like that.
Oh, the tooth whiteners and all
Tooth
that
whiteners
shit.
and dentist stuff.
Or the Insta boyfriends that you see holding the phone to take the picture of the girl in front of the landmark.
It's just all different. It's like all different forms of like it's like instead of how people used to cop like the National Enquirer or something like that. And then they have all these crazy tabloids. It's like just basically like the watered down version of it now because social media exists and people can do the same thing and kind of live out a paparazzi lifestyle in a way. But like that's the negative side of it. And I feel like there is like really dope parts of it too. But that side of it is just very dark.
Well, you start living for the post instead of the post being about the way you live.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's when it gets dangerous. I think that's when like you're kind of kidding yourself. What is going on here? Sorry in the chat, guys. I'm trying to like get the chat all situated here, and it's not working out for me. Hang on. But I hide chat. What? There we go. Okay. Pop out chat. Yo, if you guys are in the chat, you're welcome to ask questions. You know how this goes every Saturday. This is like the quietest I've ever seen you guys. This is really weird. Is it because it's not someone that you normally see? Well, anyone I had on was Daniel, who I'm always shooting with, Vanessa Joy, who's an Adorama host. Yeah. And then I was like, you know what, I want to bring on someone. First of all, we're both from the same area of Brooklyn. We're both New York native. It's just interesting. We're relatively the same age, how like splintered our careers went in the same field.
Yeah, for real.
And I look at your shots, and I'm always, anytime I pull a shot up from you, I feel the connection. I feel your presence behind that image. So I'm always like, that's important to me.
Thank you.
There's a lot of other photographers out there that got a huge following that like legit, all I'm looking at is how much Photoshop is sitting in this, how much HDR did you do to pull the skies down and stuff. Yeah. And Deacon Blue says, both your thoughts on removing how many likes a post would get on Instagram, how much it will impact both influencers and the masses. I think it's a good idea to remove the like numbers. You hear about that?
See, I think that's a really crazy thing that Instagram wants to do in a good way. And also, I'm also very curious to see, like, I'm always thinking about the come up and what people are going to do to, like, now since, like, you can't see the likes, which I feel like it'll be way more creative freedom, especially for everybody to kind of get out of this mindset of, like, oh, like, I want to make sure this post hits, or, like, I want to make sure
the value of what you did.
The value. But at the same time, are people going to start photoshopping, like, their insights to companies and to be like, yo, like, I've been getting all this traffic, and like, you can start charging like all this extra money now or something. I don't know. So I want to figure out.
You know what's going to happen? They're going to not find the value in the influencers anymore, and the money they were going to spend on the influencer, they'll just put into an ad to be a post in the feed. They'll just give it to Instagram to be a sponsored post. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, I think that's a high possibility too, because they're trying to democratize the likes, because I feel like at a certain time where it is a very negative thing, but I feel like it's fucking people up in the head, It is. Maybe including myself in a little bit, like, because I don't want to act like I'm not far removed from it. I feel like everybody is slightly affected by the likes thing.
Hell yeah.
But at the same time, when you kind of take that power away from people, it gives it back to the brands almost. So I'm like 75% for like taking away, and that 25% of understanding of like what's gonna be the solution for like people working in the social media world.
See, on face value, it seems like it's a great idea, right? Take the likes away, everybody's equal. But for me, it goes, it's like fix the algorithm. Let people get the exposure they need to get the likes. Yeah. How about that? Yeah. How many times do you not see go anywhere? No one. You know how many times I see people, we live in our hood, and I go, I don't even see your posts anymore. Yeah. He's like, how come you didn't come to that thing last night? I didn't know about it.
Yeah. So I mean, I actually have to search for it. Like, I find that more than often, I have to actually search for people's work now and stuff like that, and that's just weird. So I mean, it's a weird. I don't know what they're doing with this algorithm stuff, but at the same time, I do appreciate them trying to figuring out a way to not mess people's heads up with these likes and stuff. But I am, as an opportunistic New Yorker, curious to see what's going to happen on the business end of it as well too, because that does. It might not affect certain people a certain way, but like, not saying that all my business is generated from that, but like I can negotiate a large part of my business from that.
Hell yeah, you throw it's your weight.
So I'm like, I don't care about the likes until I'm talking to fucking Kia or like or like somebody else where I need to try to leverage as much as I can, because I know that they have a bunch of money, and then like I'm trying to get
Yeah.
work out the best situation for me being 32 years old, living in Brooklyn, New York, and trying to survive. You know what I mean?
100. I got 2 rents. I got this, and I got you saw that. I got this rent, and I got my just my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't have any sponsorships. There's not one company that gives me anything or whatever. So when I need something, I actually have to go get it.
Yeah.
You know, I'll get brands to let me borrow stuff, but you're an Alpha Collective.
Yeah.
You know, there's plenty of brands I'm sure that would want to do other things, but you have conflicts all the time, right? I mean, you can't do another camera if you're with Alpha and all that other stuff.
The exclusivity is a real thing, and it's cool. But there is also things that, like, you know, especially as like you start to, like, you know, I've been shooting like freelancing full time now for like since I've been 27, so 5 years, just maybe like 5-6 years.
Yeah.
I had to sleep on my own couch for the first 18 months and sublet my room. So like those are very strong memories that are still ingrained in my head. Like I don't want to go back to that.
That's the thing, the fear. I think that's what people forget is like what keeps a lot of people driven is the fear of what they already went through.
Yeah.
Like if you know, a lot of people, this is such a bad analogy and forgive me.
No.
But like when somebody would come into a tattoo shop and their first thing would be a huge chest piece, I'd be like, yeah, because he doesn't know what it's like to go through that shit for 8 hours.
Yeah,
you know, so it's the same thing with, I remember having I used to sell bike parts off of my bike when I was in the BMX days at Union Square. So I'd go afford film, hoping that those photos would make it into a magazine to get that money back to go build my bike again.
See, that's people don't understand like the process and the procedure. That kind of gives you like not PTSD in the most, but like you just don't want to do that shit again.
You just
know.
know,
like, I know where it could go and where it could be. Like I'm not trying to be there. So like when you start to have like my pops always talks about the window of opportunity being like it's only open for this long and it's this small. That's the way that I really see a lot of these things.
You gotta
sometimes.
go, yeah.
You gotta go. Like so, building out your foundation is really important. But at the same time, we're at a very like when you're in your like early to mid 30s, like this time we gotta get this popping. I need to we gotta go now.
Yeah. So what happens? Instagram closes down. What happens if tomorrow they vanquish it? What do you do?
I'm one of those guys that I'm not gonna have a heart attack if Instagram is gonna stop tomorrow because I feel like I actually
You built something.
I found my like I'm not saying I know all the answers with my photography and I'm not like as confident in everything I do creatively, but I feel comfortable with where I'm at and I know where I want to go and what I need to work on and what I feel like, you know. So I really feel strong. I really feel like I've built up a strong enough portfolio that I will be able to continue to work with like the Nikes of the world and like all the other people that I've been working with consistently where like, you know, it wouldn't like, I don't think it's contingent off Instagram. But you just can't deny that the power of the social media aspect. It's in the new age marketing. And if you figured out a way to make it beneficial for yourself, no matter what your following count is, it is like it is a piece of the pie, you know.
Yeah, but do you ever feel like if Instagram goes away, forget about the career aspect of it, just the drive to go shoot something for yourself still has to be there?
Oh hell yeah, for
you know
me,
what I mean?
totally.
And there's so many kids that I'm running into that like if their algorithm isn't working for them or like they just stop shooting for it. Like they weren't there for the shot in the first place.
Yeah, no, like the way that I genuinely, I'm a people person. I like people watching.
That's a New York thing.
Like because you know we make up. I grew up like a Jehovah's Witness. I used to go to field service all the time.
What?
Yeah, dog.
What?
I used to go to field service all the time, dude. And then like I used to be like in Rochdale projects, like sitting on the bench with my grandma, and we would just like look at all the people walking by, and like we would just like. We'd just be like talking shit, basically, and then like you know talking to them about the Bible and all that stuff. But at the same time, like I have a very fond, like you know, I'm very fond of people because like you know more so than anything else is like I look at it as like it's a bunch of like it's endless stories. It's like a new age folktale. And like if I could take a photo of somebody and kind of have this memory, like for me that's dope. Like if Instagram is there and I can share it, then like even better. But like if it's not there, like. That's why I'm really content and happy with that. I'm not like I know that like you know I'm just kind of aware of the whole thing and I know that like I'm not to say that I'm not trying to say that like the social media wave like I would be devastated without it, but at the same time I know like if I was able to build a platform for myself and make some money out of it at the same time you know get my work out there it's just something that you just can't deny.
Yeah, but you're past the hump. You're literally like. You've already touched base with creative directors. You already touched base with gallery directors. Like if you had to show your work, you could walk into a spot and like get a wall spot. You know what I mean? But there's some people that are like hustling right now that don't know. they're just trying to get that 10K following. They're trying to like, and I see it out around all the time. I talk to them. I'm up there doing a demo, and I'm looking at these kids that are like looking for this golden answer of like a technique that could blow their game wide open. And I got news to you, kid. There's shitty photos out there that get crazy traction out there. And there's amazing work that no one sees.
The crazy part about like the kids or the people that are striving for the social media following, it's just like there's nothing wrong with having like a personal goal in your head, like, oh, it'd be dope to crack this number. But like when you start to have it take away and obsess about what you're trying to communicate with your work or like finding your own voice, that's where it gets scary. Like I'm not like that's what I'm saying. Like I can't sit here in front and say like, you know, I'm not happy to have a big following, but at the same time, like if I were to give of my followers to get deleted tomorrow, which I don't want to ask for, like I was like fine, fuck it, you know what I'm saying? Like
just go forward.
And I'm just gonna keep on going forward, and I'm gonna keep on building up my work, and then like maybe if my shit gets deleted, then well maybe I need to work on my website now.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what I said.
There's so many different avenues to like. I'm like I wouldn't. It's not gonna make me stop shooting. You know, I mean, like all that stuff doesn't change.
I don't know, man. My career started before all this, so it never was about shooting to get it on social. It was always about shooting to get it to be used and applied for reasons. You know what I mean? So when this came about, I had to retrain. Like I said to you, I'm like, I couldn't do what you did with the whole following. I'm not even close to that. But like, I never had my brain geared for that. But I'm looking at these fucking kids, man. And they're just looking for sponsors right off the bat. The whole thing is 5 years. They go, I've been shooting for 5 years. I'm going to start speaking now. Are you? Are you?
Like, talk about what? What the fuck you gonna talk about? You know, like that's the whole thing. And like, not even to hate. It's just being honest. It's like, dude, like when I started shooting, like my introduction to photography was a lot through. It was other forms of it first. I would like, I guess like Hypebeast. I used to be really big on Hypebeast message boards like in 2006. So I was one of those dudes. Like I was always like into the streetwear culture and like music and like hip hop and punk and like all that. That's always been my thing. And especially like after I graduated high school, like in 05. So like 06, the Hypebeast message boards, everybody was like, you know, posting like the what did you wear today fits and stuff like that. And that was like kind of like my weird kind of introduction into it because you didn't want to post a shitty fit pic. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? So like it's a weird, and then
that is a weird way to get into it.
I'm being dead serious. And then like, and then after that, like, you know, other stuff happened and then Instagram came out, and I remember working at GameStop, and then I remember somebody seeing Instagram, and I was kind of like intrigued by it, and then I noticed that people were taking iPhone photos. And I was like, dude, this is crazy, dog. Like, I'm a video game dude, so like, if I feel like you could take photos with your iPhone, like, I could do the same shit. Yeah. But then when I started to learn about it, I copped a film camera like 6 months into it because I didn't want to be a poser. I'm like, I'm gonna actually learn how to like do this, you know. So like, there was a like, it was never about the posting. It was more about the discovery. You know what I mean? Like,
but that's what's
the
different.
way difference.
That's the crazy difference. Is that the first time someone saw Instagram, they were like, oh, what do I got on my phone right now that I could do? Not, hey, how could I be an elevated version of this? Yeah. They don't go quickly to elevated until they're backed into a corner. They don't do that. No. I remember when I first saw Instagram, I was like, wait, I got to sign up for this shit? Nah, I'm good.
They got to do what? Like, man.
Well, it was back, I think MySpace was around when I saw Instagram, right? And I was like, I don't want another one of this fucking thing.
Yeah, you know? I definitely had the MySpace.
I didn't even like Facebook, and now it's like, what are we doing?
God, I'm so mad that I made one back in the day. I can't even get rid of it now. But it's just like, this is like the digital, this is like, there was like the industrialization, this was like the digitalization, and I feel like our whole era, like we can't fight the internet too much. You need to understand enough of it in order to be subjective and understand how to move with it.
The problem that happened, and this sounds pretentious, but like everyone came into the conversation, and I'm sorry, but not everybody has the right shit to say. There's a lot of shitty information on there.
For sure.
Like every time I open my mouth and I'm doing a demo or teaching or something, some kid with 2 years experience will be like, oh, but this can do that. Like, you can't. You read that on a forum and now you're regurgitating. Like, no joke. You know that Chelsea Northrup, like Tony and Chelsea Northrup channel? Yep. So she said something like, ISO is ISO, not ISO, and that's how you properly say it. Fucking an hour later, we go live, everybody's breaking our balls about how we're saying ISO. You just regurgitated some shit. You don't even know if that's true. Did you even research it?
This is just an entitlement era too, you know. That has a lot to do with it.
You think so? Entitlement?
It's just the self-entitlement. Like if I read this, I feel like I'm informed, and then not without doing the diligent research. Like I fall victim to it sometimes, but I try to compose my shit until like I try to get all the information before I blurt out something like ISO, like I'm not trying to do all that.
We spend more time correcting misinformation on the internet than learning for real.
That's true.
It's crazy.
That's why I feel like there is some kind of social responsibility, and then I take that very seriously. I try to be like.
But I think that's why you're successful. I think because you did it. First of all, you approach it to be next level. You approach it with respect to the viewer. And I think that a lot of people don't. They just go, what can I get them to like? What can I get out of them? You know how many times you pull up a hot girl's page and it's like totally an ad for some garbage? Like, I'm that much of a moron.
He's like, oh, matcha tea straight.
I'll unfollow this.
The trip to Greece, fire.
Oh my God, look at this. Vanessa Joy, one of our Adorama hosts, is in the chat. Now everybody's jumping. Vanessa! It's Vanessa! Hi, Vanessa! You know Vanessa? You ever met Vanessa?
I think we met maybe once. Maybe
she was at Inspire.
I was going to say, probably at Inspire.
She's always been around.
What's up, Vanessa? How you doing?
Patty Mates is having problems lighting white fur on dogs. Patty, I got to be honest with you. I think it might actually just be the dynamic range of the sensor in your camera. I think you're using like a beginner level Nikon, if I'm correct. I think that the dynamic range just isn't there to get the highlights, but I could be wrong. You could ask Vanessa about that. It's hard to say when they ask you a lot of questions, and then if you're not there, it's hard to know like the X factor that's happening. Like,
no, but I definitely like know what she's talking about though. I just definitely don't know the answer. I've always been shooting like anytime like it's like overblown light and somebody's wearing like a white tee and you're shooting into it and like you're caught off guard.
Well, a lot of the reason is either it's soft or hard light. Harder light shows off textures more, but you have to expose for it correctly, and it has to be the right light source. The whole fucking thing.
Yeah. Because I play a lot more with natural, well, pretty much only with natural light. So it's a little bit more you have way more control and understanding of that.
Once you get into strobe, you become a psychopath over controlling light. I got to tell you how many times I'm like, I'm only going to go out with a camera and no lights, and I'm going to do this. And then I'm like, if I just had one strobe, I could do this. Like it just breaks my brain. But no joke, my career came about that way because they'd be like, we need this now to look like that. And it's like, well, it's super sunny out, not overcast. Like I had to learn how to create my own light. And that's why when I see people like you that just like shoot with camera and lens, and I'm like, how the fuck did they get through that? My whole career, they needed something at a specific time to look a specific way.
I'm always chasing light. Literally, like that's why I have running shoes on all the damn time, because I'm literally running for pockets of light. Like I just did the got to shoot the Nike Stone Island golf campaign, because Nike came out with this whole like golf collaboration with Stone Island, and they're trying to like market it towards like a lot more like city and like making it way more city and making like golf, taking it out of the country clubs. And then one of the people I got to shoot with, you had to link up with him one time at least. This dude named Tiger Hood. He's like the
another Tiger.
Yeah, this dude's the neighborhood golfer, right?
Okay.
He's
Hood?
He's the hood legend, dude. I've been seeing him like when I used to be like a nerd and camping out at Supreme like 12 years ago, like on Jersey Street. Like he would be the guy like swinging golf clubs around there. Like even to fast forward, like now I'm able to be cool with this dude now, and I got to shoot him for a Nike campaign. But the whole thing I've been doing was basically like shooting in pockets of light. Like when I see a pocket of light across the street, like that Jersey Street area, literally would run over there like, Tiger, come on, let's go. Run, shoot, understand.
Expose for the highlight and then blow it,
and then and then just keep on moving on. It's like this. That's why I think I have ADD, because you always kind of like.
Now imagine you didn't have to do that, and you just had a strobe that could create the textured light you want anywhere, anytime. Imagine that.
That's just mind-boggling. It kind of makes no sense.
I got 10 things in that closet right there.
I feel like I'm like 97. I was like, what are you talking about, man?
Strobe?
It's strobe.
Is this a disco? What is going on?
I've been running across the street.
But imagine that, right? Imagine there's no excuse. It doesn't matter what time, you can get it done in the way you want to do it. That's how I got. Look, everyone's talking about. Speaking of asking questions, I'm going to try out the advice you gave me on ghosting and Shudder Egg tonight for my gym session. That's cool. But I would understand if you're using a crop sensor, but I'm using the D10. Honestly, it might be the style of lighting you're using, Patty. If you're washing out fur, you're not seeing enough texture or contrast in that fur. So you're probably overexposing the fur to not get the shadow detail to create the texture. But it's hard. It's hard when you're not there. So
No, you're a pro. Honestly, that's some pro shit right there.
you never even come to any of my demos.
I need to learn. Honestly,
Motherfucker, you show up to a portfolio session, but you don't show up to my demos. I was like, what the hell is he doing here?
boyfriend duties. I was like boyfriend duties. But I was definitely there for the portfolio review as well too. There was some really dope photographers there.
Yeah, no, it's good to stay around the peers and stuff like that. And that's when people ask me like, how do I get started? Like I was telling you before we got into it, that influencer panel that told that woman, she's like, how can I get started making money? He's like, you have to be amazing. And I was like, are you out of your fucking mind? No, be around people when they get jobs.
If somebody told me that, I would have lost my shit.
I would have lost my shit. I would have set fire to that whole room. I'd be like, good luck, everybody.
That's because it's just insulting, you know. Like
that's right.
It's just honestly like when somebody gives you a rebuttal like that, you kind of like feel like the other person like lacks intelligence or something like that. I was like, that's like the most condescending thing you could say to somebody. You should be happy it wasn't like some WWF shit and people started throwing chairs. Like, we're not gonna take it.
Well, let's put it this way. Like, how many years ago you saw an influencer panel and the room was packed and nobody left? And now you're going to them and as they speak, chairs start opening up. And you're like, something's happening here. People are paying attention to them for how many years, and now they got nothing back out of it. Their information didn't work, their advice didn't work. They can't be them. So where are we left?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't look. They're still talking about how to shoot animals.
Oh no,
I love.
I think I saw somebody earlier ask a question about street dreams. I wasn't too sure if I missed it or not.
Yeah, that was Robbie. He's asking what street dreams van connection.
Oh, so the van connection to street dreams is, so I think I told you this story before, but I can kind of keep it not too long, but one of the reasons why Street Dreams started is because of my barber.
That's such a Brooklyn thing.
I swear to God, this dude, I would speak to him, I would speak about him until like the end of time. AJ is like one of my closest friends. Like when I first started coming out from the city again, I basically, like, I mean, I'm being a Brooklyn and Queens kid. Like a lot of, especially kids in Queens, people feel like Queens runs the world, and like, you know, nothing happens outside of Queens.
No.
You go to Queens right now, you ask somebody what they think is going on outside of Queens, they probably have no idea. So I was really big into like working in the city and getting out, and like AJ was like one of the first people that I used to go to, like Frank's Chop Shop down in LES, and he would get my haircuts over there, and like I always used to get my haircut from AJ. So like when I started like getting other random jobs, like when I used to like, after like I got fired from GameStop, I got fired from like REI.
Wait, you got fired from GameStop?
I definitely got fired from GameStop.
What'd you do?
I'll tell you exactly what I did. So I used to work at the GameStop on 34th Street and 14th Street.
I have vendetta, I'm telling you.
Oh, I'm fucking,
let's
air
do it.
This shit out. I remember there was like a Christmas Eve. There was one Christmas Eve that they made, like, I've been working there for 3 years. I was like a senior game advisor, SGA, which is like a supervisor, a manager of managed games, you know, so I was at SGA and I was out there. And then like I was always really good at sales. Like I always was good. Because, you know, if I like something, I could talk about it for days. So like clearly I like video games. So it's nothing for me to sell video games because I'm actually fucking playing them all the time. So
it's the same thing with this shit. Like you shoot, you just talk it. You know?
And just talking about it all the time. So I mean, I've always had like a pretty good rapport with the customers, but never really with management. It's always been like one manager that was always fucked with me, but like all the managers never did. So we had this other dude. I would just say his name was Kevin. Let's just say that. This other dude named Kevin who used to be one of like the regional directors or something like that. He always had this weird vendetta on me and saying like I wasn't like doing the job as like I should, or like I wasn't alphabetizing the games on the wall correctly, or I wasn't like doing this.
How can we move forward?
It was always like these weird nitpicky things, and he kind of looked like a condor, you know what I mean? Like so I already wasn't feeling this dude. And then on Christmas Eve, he asked me to like I was already had plans like to like leave and like, you know, do my thing, like, you know, go out to eat like dinner and all that stuff like that. And he made me like stay like an extra like 3 or 4 hours so we can hit the quota or something like that. And then I cursed this dude out. Like I was like, I just had enough of his bullshit. I pretty much got there the next day, and yeah, that was like, you know, dude, I don't know what you're doing here. Like, you're fired. It was like, so it was. They eventually, it didn't last that long with that. And then like the same thing with REI. Like I got fired because like I really liked that job because it was a co-op, and I really believed in the whole co-op membership thing. And I was like, oh man, it's really dope that people can like be involved and blah 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 blah. And then Like, you know, I just started losing. I didn't want to go to work to sell memberships anymore, dude. I was tired of selling a membership for somebody else besides like my
That's
own
the
shit,
thing. It's
dude.
like whenever you're doing something for someone else's cause, you kind of, after a while, it weighs on you. Especially if you're creative, you're kind of like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Burning my time to get them their goal. Like after a while, you're just collecting the same check, living the same life, and you break at some
draining.
point. You're gonna break.
So I got it. So I got fired from there, and I was like, I told the dude thank you because I couldn't do it myself. So like, AJ was the dude who I used to sweep hair up in the spot. Like when he was a barber, he had a studio. I would sweep hair up in the spot. Like he gave me like my first photo shoot. You know what I mean? Like. And then he did me all that stuff. So like me meeting my business partner Eric through AJ at like one of his parties is like kind of like the whole genesis of it all. So
yeah, it was
that's
funny
the Vancouver connection right there.
when I heard about Street Dreams, like what the fuck is this shit? Like I didn't know what to make of it, to be honest with you. Patty says, Steve, retail is hard. My husband can tell you stories. You do have to take a lot of bullshit. There are some good retail employers out there.
There definitely are. I'm not going to say, like, because the jobs still exist for a reason, and I've definitely had really good managers, but like, there's just like, for every good manager.
So the Vancouver connection in Street Dreams, because I think he's in Canada.
Oh yeah, so my partner their names are Eric Veloso and Mike C. Both of them are based in Vancouver, and then they know the reason why they know AJ is because Eric's wife worked at Aritzia, and then AJ's ex-girlfriend worked at Aritzia. And then Eric saw my work through Instagram. I probably had like around 6,000, 7,000 followers at the time. He was like, oh, like, can you like, you know, put me in contact with this dude, whatever. So during one of these like, you know, summers in New York, AJ used to have a spot over in Williamsburg on 750 Grand Street, right above that gym.
Yeah.
Yeah, so our studio is actually not too far from there now, which is like a whole full circle.
Oh, that's right by, we're right by there.
Yeah, we're super close. I could walk to there.
Oh shit, we should have done this from there.
We could have. I mean, like, I just
What are we
didn't
doing
know.
here?
I just wanted to come to your spot. But yeah, AJ had a party at his studio, and then I remember walking to the hallway, and then Eric, I didn't know it was Eric at the time, but you know I'm a sneakerhead. He was rocking some really dope sneakers, and I was like, oh, those are really cool sneakers. And he's like, oh, thanks, man, appreciate it. We go inside, and then AJ was like, yo, let me introduce you to this dude named Eric. He really wants to get in contact with you, and that was the same dude whose shoes I complimented. Yeah. The next day, I took him out on the Williamsburg Bridge, and we spoke about the whole concept of Street Dreams magazine. So it's it's kind of really like, you know, metaphorical, but like the bridge of Vancouver in New York was like spoke about on the Williamsburg Bridge like the next day after we linked up.
That bridge will get your brain going. I mean, I tagged that bridge. I mean, I walked that bridge.
It's a legendary bridge. I've walked that bridge like so many times.
You know how I must have taken a can of paint across that bridge like my whole adolescence. Like, I mean, holy fuck.
Nah, I mean, I've had so many nights of like, I've walked from 34th Street.
Yeah, from this spot, I'll walk home.
To Bed-Stuy, and it was like one of those, you know, just talking to my cousin on the phone or something like that. That Williamsburg Bridge is a very important bridge.
There's a weight in the middle of it. There's like this weight, because I feel like you're really in between. You're really in the middle of the water. Your cell phone has weird service. Like, there's this minute in the middle of it that you get.
Yeah.
And I think anyone who's lived in New York their whole life, when they're around so much noise and static, when they get to that middle part of the Williamsburg Bridge, even though they're surrounded by a ton of graffiti and like all this crazy shit, they kind of have a minute of like, oh yeah, I'm this big, the world's this big, I'm a little bit of quiet, and you have like a clear moment. So whenever it's hectic, I just hit for the bridge.
I haven't walked across that bridge in a while, but
maybe we'll do a live IG across the bridge one day.
Because that was like, I mean, that bridge is like, even like when we first really started shooting with like, you know, when I first really started getting out and shooting with everybody, it was like was like Illich Peters and like Jay and Silva, then like Kevin Ornelas, KO.
I was talking to Kevin yesterday.
All of us used to shoot on that bridge like religiously, like Raheem, Black Soap, like all of us would literally shoot on that bridge like religiously. Anytime somebody would come into town, that would be the first spot, sunrise. So like, yeah, that Williamsburg Bridge has definitely played a big part in my life. It's kind of weird. But yeah, the Street Dreams was conceptualized.
Did someone try to sell you a water for $10 on the bridge?
Not that day. But
they get you, man.
They'll definitely get you. They'll sell you like some cookies or like gummy bears or something.
The water guys, when you're riding your bike over the bridge, they're like,
my God.
I'm like, all right, I'll pay $5 for this dollar water.
I've seen somebody ride a moped on the Brooklyn Bridge, like one of those like a
That's
motorcycle.
balls.
That's crazy,
That's
dog.
balls.
I love New York. It's like, you can't make that shit up.
I saw a guy jogging naked once.
On the which bridge? The Brooklyn Bridge?
on the
Oh,
Williamsburg.
oh my God, dude.
It-
He was
it
just
was-
ball swinging.
It was like 11 o'clock at night, and that dude was naked except for running shoes. I was like, oh, and he had an armband with some shit in it.
Why
And
do
I
you
was
have
like,
an armband? So you was
Probably
actually
for his
listening to
money or
music?
whatever.
Oh
I was
my
like-
God, dude. That's
I was like,
funny.
how are you gonna get home? Like, I'm like, what?
Where's he
cop is it
running
gonna
to?
take?
I hope he's running back to his house. You know, put some clothes on.
I've seen naked people in the street in this city more times than I can count. Remember the blackout years ago, the big blackout years ago? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And it was like super hot out. Dude was just walking with a backpack, just a backpack. I was like, I know it's hot and I know there's no AC right now, but god damn, bro, like.
I think during that blackout, I was at Six Flags. Like,
Really?
Yeah, but
Jeez.
out in Jersey. Yeah,
I was
Six
in
Flags.
Union Square.
And then I remember being on a ride, and then at one point, like you could go, like I think it was like one of those herky jerky shits that go up and down. Like you could go up, and you could kind of see like the blackout area, and then hear the screams of the like like the generators. I wish I was taking photos then, honestly, because that was a movie.
Don't even get me started on when I wish I was taking photos. For a side job when I was really young, I delivered pizza for Domino's.
Oh my God!
And I
that'd be
wish
crazy.
I carried a point and shoot camera with me every night.
That would be such a sick like just a piece of like a piece of delivery person, like going to different cribs and taking.
Oh man, the shit
I would
I
watch that
saw.
shit.
The shit I saw. I was like, why didn't I could have had a book out of like this chronicles of the shit. I mean, first of all, the people who order Domino's are a special type of people.
Yeah, because I used to love Domino's, but then it gave me heartburn, so I had to stop eating Domino's.
It's
probably
$5 pizza. You think that
Papa
any
John's
of that
is
is
the worst,
good?
dude. Domino's is better than Papa John's, though.
They're all garbage. Man. You know what? No, it's Little Caesars is by far
That's
the worst.
That shit tastes like a fucking
That's
cardboard
like, that's
box,
what I was saying.
dude.
It's a cardboard cracker. But
Oh
yo,
my
I don't know.
God.
You know, like on Broadway, they go to these fucking guys who first of all look diesel and have 12-pack. Go into Little Caesars, get a $5 pizza, and walk across to McDonald's. I'm like, how the fuck do you eat like this and you look like that?
Dude, that makes no sense. There's like it's
The
all
junk
carbs.
food in the hood is the worst.
You just burn it right off.
I'm passing Six Flags right now, says Vanessa Joy.
Oh my God, I'm jealous. I need to go back. I haven't been in a long time.
Dude, I don't even remember the last time I had like a day off to go do something fucking cool.
When's the last time have you shot something that was for fun and not work? Because I feel like a lot of my friends have been going through a lot lately. Like nobody's really working on
I
personal
get asked
projects.
that every live stream about personal projects, and I'm like, when I was younger, I made sketchbooks full of projects I wanted to shoot, and every now and then I might crack one open, I'm like, God, I had a good idea, and I'll never get to it.
Yeah.
Because my week consists of like everything for Adorama, and then Saturday I have to worry about making money for the studio, you know? So then it's like Sunday, I'm back to doing Twitch, Monday Rewind, Tuesday, Wednesday, like, it never fucking ends. So, and then by the time you have a minute, you go, I just shot all week.
Yeah, I'm
The
good.
last thing I want to do is pick up a camera.
Yeah. I mean, I dig it. 'Cause I find myself in the same boat, and I'm trying to. Do you get a lot of jobs through IG?
Steve, do you get a lot of jobs through IG, having such a large following, people contacting you through IG, wanting to book you, like a couple of Vanessa is meeting today?
I am fortunate enough that a lot of people reach out to me on IG, but not directly through Instagram, but it would probably be through email and
Yeah, they find you there.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
find it through Instagram, and that's why I can't, I would say that I would be a hypocrite to sit here and say that it's not beneficial for you in a lot of ways. One of the things that was a game changer for me is getting verified. When I got verified, it literally you see I
can't get verified.
I got this is a real story. I was with AJ. AJ is pretty much like every time I'm with AJ, something crazy happens. He just attracts craziness. But we went to a really dope bar actually in Bushwick. You should check it out, called Starliner. We was at this bar and I met this dude named Andy who works with Gary Vee, and he was familiar with my work before. Like I probably had maybe like around 150,000 followers at the time, which is insane. He was like, then we had like a short conversation about Instagram, and I was like, he's like, man, how are you not verified? I was like, we talking, we all talking shit. I was like, man, they don't fuck with me like that, dude.
Yeah.
He was like, that's crazy. I'm gonna get you verified tomorrow. I was like, that's bullshit. And
What?
then he's like, and then we kept on talking, and like we were
Can
cool
you make
and
a
everything.
call for me? Because I can't get verified.
He literally, the next day, I was at, my Facebook got verified, and I was like, that's weird because that's Facebook. And then actually at the Grammy party, my Instagram got verified. So it got verified that night of the Grammy night party.
That party
So
was tough.
that honestly changed. That being like the following has a lot to do with it, because unfortunately, some of these companies are very just binary. They just see things as black, like, you know, they just
Dude,
see
there's
it
people
as
with
just what it
2,000
is.
followers that have a check mark. I can't get check mark.
I don't understand that either.
Me and Daniel can't get verified for
I've
shit.
heard all these different legends of like you have to have 5 different linked articles. You need to have this. You need to have your full name and like your bio. Like I've heard all these different kind of things, and I don't know what's true or not. I just know that that's how it went down. For
I don't
me.
give a fuck. I'm still doing what I do anyway. Patty Mates wants to know what you do for fun.
What do I do for fun? I smoke weed. I smoke a lot of weed, and it's fun. I also play a lot of video games. I'm a sports addict. You know, like I love watching basketball. I love watching
So he's 15.
films.
He's
I'm
15.
pretty much 15 years.
He's 15 years old.
I'm 32 going on 14. I'm obsessed with films. I love movies. I love TV. I'm a big media guy. I'm such a visual person. Everything with me is super visual. The older I've been getting, and it sounds really nerdy, and I'm not trying to flex, but I really do love and appreciate museums now. Like museums really send me off on another
first
level.
of all, to live in New York and not take advantage of what we fucking have here is a travesty.
It's insane.
Like people tell me like there's nothing to do. I'm like, are you kidding me? The Met is basically free and the greatest
And
things
it's
in
so
mankind.
sick.
It's sick as fuck. Yo, even
It's
if you're
nuts.
not into all that shit, the fucking costume exhibit.
Yeah, the costume set alone, the Egyptian room, like the medieval stuff, like the African stuff. I mean, like you got the Googs, the Guggenheim is right down the block. They got the Basquiat exhibit. They got,
I got my issues with Guggenheim though.
there's a little, it could be a little bougie, but they have dope exhibits.
Bougie,
though.
I'm out of there in 5 minutes. It's not as big as you think.
It's true.
But
That's my half glass full kind of personality. I was like, but it still has.
Oh no, it's dope. I'm not like the walking up the spiral and shit.
The Brooklyn Museum, that's not.
That's the one I neglect, which is funny because I'm like, oh, Brooklyn.
It's hard to get to from the side, but like I love going like this, like and I don't go there enough. Like
MoMA's door to door for us. The M train takes us door to door. Like, how do you not do this? People make me sick when they talk shit about there's like, oh, New York's dying. I'm like, yeah, New York's dying. You could go to the fucking any museum and see stuff that is like created for the foundation of mankind. Are you out of your mind?
The whole New York dying speech is like because you're looking for something that is dead. You know what I'm saying?
Because your energy is dead, and then it translates. You know what I mean?
You're getting what you're asking for.
Bro, I grew up a punk. Tell me where I'm supposed to go now. There's nothing left. CB's is gone. Coney Island High is gone. Like every spot I used to go to, fucking Continental gone.
There
Like
used to be a bunch of spots I used to go to in Myrtle and Broadway back in the day when like they used to be like in the early 2000s. There was like Death Set.
first of
used
all,
to
early
perform.
2000s, I didn't fuck with that spot.
That was,
I'm
crazy. That was
It was a little hectic over there.
I was one of those wild ones. I was out there. Yeah, I was a different
Fuck
time.
that.
I remember like moshing before and ripping my whole pants because I tried to crowd surf or something. Like I was different. It was a different man. Different times.
Bro,
It was really fun though.
Grew up in hardcore punk, and like every day it felt like another piece of it got ripped away from me.
Oh yeah, that was probably a rough time for you.
St. Mark's, remember St. Mark's
Oh,
used
yeah,
to look
dog.
like? And
Yeah,
now you
it's
go there and there's a Chipotle there. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
St. Mark's Comics is
It was
one of
gone.
My,
It's gone? Oh my God, it's gone.
I didn't know it was gone.
It closed early this year.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, 36 years over.
I copped one of the illest Daredevil, like when Daredevil was fighting Elektra, and Elektra dies. I copped that issue from St. Mark's Comics when it was on sale for like National Comic Day.
He always found like damaged comics, so if you wanted it and it was
Damn,
like this
is it
high
actually
price,
closed?
it's gone, dude.
See, this is what I'm mad about. Like, I wish I took photos of that shit, dude, because I was not in like.
He didn't let you pick a camera in there. He was fucking psychotic. If you pulled your phone out, he freaked out. He thought you were like going for eBay or something. So I bought all the original Ninja Turtle comics there because they were water damaged for $1 each.
Oh my god, dude!
Just going there to see what he found was phenomenal. I knew this girl
That
Skylar that
makes
worked
me
there.
sick.
Oh my god, the heartbreak when I saw that pop up on Instagram. I was like, what the fuck?
I had no idea, dog.
Oh, it killed me. I took Vanessa Joy there. I always took everybody. I took every girl I ever.
I used to take my cousins there,
Everyone.
like, you know, like that was because we would go to Bonchon and then go to,
It was open till midnight. I
Yeah.
mean, you could go there really late at night on St. Mark's and just like scope what was going on.
That's where I got my gauges. I got my gauges
Really?
on St. My little plugs.
Oh, jeez.
But I got that's
Yeah,
say.
there used to be Ian's Religious Sex used to be there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's gone.
Yeah, that's all of it's gone. It's like dude, there was a 7-Eleven on that fucking block. What?
Yeah, when that 7-Eleven popped up, it was
And it went out of business. I've never seen a 7-Eleven fail.
The only thing that's still around there, like the OG stores that I still love, is hopefully still there. Is Video Games New York. It's like one of
the
tighter
yellow
spots.
awning. Yeah, it's around the corner still there.
I love Video Games.
We
New
should
York.
go in there and do a live.
Yeah, that would be a dope one.
I want to do our Twitch from there.
That would be sick. That's an OG classic.
He's got some high prices though.
Oh yeah, I bought my Dreamcast. I bought no, not a Dreamcast. I bought my 64 from there. I need to copy a Dreamcast, but I was gonna get it from over there. So like, yeah, what I do for fun is all video games. Like literally all these tangible, nerdy, anything that anything that has lore to it.
Why don't you should come by Adorama on a Sunday? We're just sitting there talking video games.
Yeah, I'm down, dude.
I'm telling you, you're always. I've fucking been going since May.
I need to. Like I'm staying still. Like the only other thing that's happening now is we've been going out for Kando, and
You need to do a live IG on Bushwick Graffiti. No, we don't.
I'm not saying it is.
I'm not talking about. We didn't. Nope.
But shout out to Bisco. Bisco all
Yo,
day.
Bisk is the man, and Bishop over at Lowbrow Artique. I just did a video on Adorama TV filming Bishop painting the wall.
Oh, dope.
Yeah.
I mean, me and Bisco is finally going to drop our collaboration. We worked on a whole set together, which is like we've been holding out for it for a while. But
you started that a year ago.
Yeah, but we're finally about to drop it. Like,
I love that
in
guy.
the magazine. No, he's one of the nicest.
What a good
dudes.
What a good headset, like a mindset, I should say.
I really gravitated towards I gravitated towards his work first, and when I met him, I met him through KO and Art Basel 2014.
I could see his stuff on the inside of Armani suits, like
easy.
the lining. Like he's so ill. He's
crazy,
so
honestly.
dope. I love that guy, and I love his studio. There's like a feel to his studio that's just. It's right by the L train. I'm like, I gotta do something here with him.
Yeah, he's not too far from that spot too. 35 Meadow.
We're all in the same circle, bro.
Some dude that asked you if you're still into punk.
Well, Steve wants to. Patty wants to know what your most challenging assignment's been.
What was the most challenging? That's a good question.
I feel like they always have. They're different challenges.
I would say that, to be honest, like before every shoot, not as bad anymore, but before every shoot, I'm always nervous because I'm going through. I have already in my head envisioned everything that I want to try to achieve, like emotionally, physically. I'm thinking about my editing already. I'm thinking about the day. I'm thinking about how it's going to react. Like I put so much thought into this that
but it's good to have a goal point because otherwise you're just kind of shooting, hoping.
Yeah, but then when I get into the situations and then it starts to flow, I'm really good at thinking on the fly. That's like one of the only good things I'm probably at. But I get comfortable really quick and I can get over situations. So like for example, like shooting at Gov Ball, I had to work with Vivo during Gov Ball, and I pretty much was like almost
what did you do at Governor's Ball though?
So Gov Ball for me is one of my favorite gigs, and what I've been doing it for the past 3 years, and I act like pretty much like the hood version of Carson Daly, and at the same time a photographer, where I'm like doing like all like the walkthroughs of like what's going on in the Gov Ball scene.
That's
and like
cool.
You know, and then like talking to sometimes interact with the artists and stuff like that, and they would post the videos, and then I'm still shooting like as like live shooting. So
see what we did the Grammys party, I'd want to do there.
Yeah, that would be really
I'd
dope.
want to set up and just shoot there.
That would be really
For those of you
dope.
who don't know, I did 450 portraits.
That was
twice
madness.
for you guys.
I honestly, I
With
think
the
you
color
sent us that
theory?
file before. I think we need to put that in the deck or something because that was nuts.
Dude, I have all those photos still. You want water?
Yeah, I'm down for that actually.
All right, I'll be right back. The portraits were like, I'm not gonna lie, I bitched when I first got the idea of it. I was like, wait, I have to do what? And print them out. So I had to shoot 4 photos in a row. They couldn't have failed because they had to go right from the shot to the
killed
person's
those too, by the
phone,
way. People
and they had
still
to
use
print
those.
them. Yeah, yeah. You know, I think back. First of all, it was at the time. You got to realize I was like, "Fuck, this is really hard."
Yeah.
Like it beat the shit out of me. But then when I look back at them, like, that's kind of an achievement. And the look, like the second time, I really nailed down the color theory I wanted.
Yeah.
And I was like, "All right, this is what we could do." If I could do that at Governor's Ball, I'd be fucking.
You
lit.
would go crazy.
If you want to hook that up, I'll
You would
do
go
it.
crazy. I would definitely talk to Vivo.
I'll totally do it.
I definitely talk to them. If you definitely could figure something.
You might
out.
have just seen something happen right in front of your faces.
It's like, hopefully I can go down honestly because
I'll
I
do
think
it
that
in a
would be. I think that would be huge.
I gotta say, I had a little beef with one of you guys though. He took one of the photos, flipped it in Photoshop, then flipped the logos on his hat the other way. Like he Photoshopped the image to be something he wanted, and then put it up and put my name on it. I'm like, what was wrong with the other? And when you guys initially
Who did
tapped,
that? I'm not just.
I'm not gonna tell. I'll tell. But when you guys
I'm not
initially
prepared.
tapped me for it, you showed me his image that he shot. We're like, we want to do something like this, and I was like, I'm gonna do it better. Like I'm gonna do it like different color theory. We'll talk about it.
All right, no, please do.
But I was like,
I'm so curious. Now.
My
Like,
brain,
that's hilarious,
I couldn't
though.
understand the logic, and I was like, why do you fuck with someone else's shit? Whatever. And to me, they were throwaway images because I was like,
Because that's tough. Those situations are tough, and then especially like with you, where you was working with that situation, you were working in a really tight time frame.
That line.
So you're working with like 35 to 45 seconds, really, of trying to like make sure you like,
couldn't miss a shot.
You can't
because
miss
all
anything.
4 shots had to go right to an email to the person that I shot. Then it had to get printed.
Yeah.
And I was like if I missed one shot, it fucked up the whole sequence, and I'd have to, I'd be screwed.
So it was really similar to like the whole Gov Ball thing for me, but like there were situations like, so that whole weekend, well, I'm not only doing like the IG stories, so like I'm doing the live IG stories, and not only am I shooting, live shooting, I'm doing live editing, so I'm editing like,
What do you mean live editing?
I mean like live editing, I mean like, after like, say like you would have 3 sets to shoot, say like I had to shoot Georgia Smith, I had to shoot, let's just use like other random people that I was shooting. Like I had to shoot Georgia Smith, Denzel Curry, and Lord. I mean not Lord. That fucking I forgot her name now. It was like somebody else like that, right? But it was like Lord was last year. I'm merging all the years together now.
Fuck's her name?
Lord. But like I would have to shoot these things from like 10:45 to 1:45. So while I'm doing all this stuff, and then from 1:45 to maybe like 2 o'clock, I have time to have to run back to maybe from like the opposite side of the field to the other side to go edit for like 5 minutes. So I need to make sure that I have like all my presets and all like the stuff envisioned already to where I want to know. Have those ready, send it over to Vivo so they can live post onto the Instagram, and then do that again. And then that's for 10 hours a day.
Yep.
Some of these artists also now, like I get to shoot the behind the scenes and backstage of it too, so I get to like have one-on-one times with the artist. So you can think like, I told you I get nervous before all my shoots. So I'm already thinking about like, maybe I could set this up over here, we do the walkthrough and all that stuff like that. And then like, for example, like when Georgia Smith, I only had 45 seconds. Legitimately, like if I maybe 48 seconds, maybe the most.
Yeah.
And then you have to find the light, you need to find your positioning, you need to make sure that they're cool with you first, you need to do all this stuff, and then make sure it's good at the same time. So like, it's really stressful, but at the same time, like I really live off shit like that.
Yeah,
like,
me too. I'm the same way, chaos.
It's like, damn, this is like, I'm going right into the madness, I go right into the fire.
Yeah,
And,
when it's
nervous,
too
I'm
calm,
hyped for it.
I feel like something's wrong.
Yeah.
And I always get fucked up. I think that's
I
why
get kinda jittery almost.
Oh yeah, when I have a line of people like hawking on the back, that's kind of when I thrive. I kind of like, and I think that people don't realize that the skill you cultivated to be able to handle something in that short period of time is what you really,
that's the
your
bread
value
butter.
is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when I shot those portraits, when you do those 45-second images, it's the same thing. It's just different applications.
Yeah.
You know, but man, people do not get that when it looks easy, that's what you paid for.
Yeah, like there was like, oh man, like you must have had a lot of time to talk. Like there was no time to talk. Like I wanted to shoot the 1975, and like I had this in mind, like, oh, I'm gonna try to like set them up like on some Beatles shit, like stack them up. You go back to the trailer and lawn chairs and like a fucking random tree, and I'm like, you look at the trailer, you look at the lawn chair, look at the trailer, look at the lawn chair. I'm like, yo, sit in the chair, and then they sit in the chair, and then everybody else just.
Get around
so
them.
like you have to make quick decisions like this though.
Oh
like,
yeah.
People, it's a very like, and then you have to live with it immediately. So like there's this like you have to get over the fact that you're in a shitty location and just make the best of all these things really fast.
You got to get that safe shot down fast, and then try to get something that can elevate it really quick. Like
exactly.
in the Grammys ones, I started doing those draggy, ghosty things
exactly.
at the end. That was the last frame. If I got 3 good frames,
and then let me just try to do it experimental really quick.
Just do something, and everyone was fine. But it's just people don't understand when they say you have 2 minutes. It's like, yeah, but 2 minutes in our world, after all the years of going through that type of shot or being in those scenarios or having that experience, is stretched in your brain before you even start.
Yeah, totally. You can't escape that. That's why I'm so like.
Wait, what's going on? It sounds like a concert photography. You might get 5 seconds to get that moneymaker shoot of each band. That one photo that's going to define the entire concert for you. Yeah, like.
Sorry, I need to read that again. I'm so busy. I have ADD. I told you. I was just reading the other one first.
There, make it nice and big for your old eyes.
Oh, there you go. Sounds
what?
Sounds like a lot of concert photography. Sounds like a lot of concert photography. You may get 5 seconds to get that money maker shoot of each band, then one photo. It's pretty much, it is like that. It's like, this is the same thing with The Pit.
Oh God.
The Pit is 3 songs, and then you need to get the fuck out of there. And then like,
ugh.
that three song shit sometimes is really like 2.5, or 2, or if, like you
It's
just
the same
you just
shot
you
over and
just-
over again anyway.
But then this goes back to the beginning of our conversation of like being nice to people. If you're cool with the security
Oh, they're
guards,
chill with you. Yeah.
they're fine. Like, oh, do you need some water or anything, bro? Oh, I man, you good. Like,
If
let
you're
me
not
get
an issue for them, you're a positive.
exactly.
So
and
they
I try not to be a burden to anybody. So I go in there, I say what up to everybody. Like it's all good.
And
like,
you'll
let
see
me
them
know if you
again.
need something.
You'll see them at another event. Be like, oh yeah, come on, whatever.
There's a lot of politics to it, and I feel like if you understand how to balance it, like you can probably allot yourself some extra time where others not, and then other things that you're just gonna have to live with it.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
there's a lot of that, give and take.
You know, people talk about shit like that all the time, but like when I go to Comic-Con, it's not civilian for me. When I go there, I'm like, I know half the vendors, so I need to charge my phone.
I need to go with
I get
you.
to come in.
haven't been to Comic-Con
Did
in
you-
so long.
You got a
dude.
pass this year?
No.
So I might be having a panel.
Oh, word? Oh, wow.
Well, last year we did a demo on stage. I shot cosplay
I
live
was
on
gonna say you probably
stage.
did the cosplay joint. That's
Yeah,
really
I
dope.
shot that shit. So I had like 6 extra passes. I got
Oh
a
my
press
God,
pass this
dude.
year.
I'll take photos of you, dude. What you need?
All right, well, I got to see what's going on. I got to talk to Dan. Daniel went to fucking Germany to teach, so I'm like, oh, we
What
gotta
a
see.
life.
Yo, he's doing some shit for Dado. You ever hear Dado? So it's probably the most hardcore lighting theory brand in the fucking world. It's the
Okay.
coolest fucking lights ever. They're constant lights. They're a lot to them. They sent him 300 pounds of gear.
300 pounds?
Yeah, crate after crate. He's doing all these crazy fucking things in here, and they go, "Hey, you want to come talk at our thing in Germany?" So now, I mean, it sounds weird. So when
This is mind-boggling.
well, let me
dog.
ask you this: when you were coming up, right? Were you solitary in photo? Like there was no one around. There was no shared interest. Like it was always just you, your shot, and that's it. Because I think as we get older as photographers, we start becoming social as far as photos go. Like I never would looked at Daniel in my younger years as like a friend or a colleague. I'd have been like, "You're gonna take my fucking job. I can't share shit with you."
Yeah,
like
word.
what the fuck? Now it's
Yeah.
like, what can we do and do some cool things and like what? And the more I talk, like we're in here at 2 a.m. yelling at each other over a fucking light source, and we're like,
Yeah.
but that arguing gets us both to a place we didn't think about. But when I was younger, when I was starting, I was like, all spikes were out.
We definitely, because in our age group, like the last, I call like the '80s babies, like we're like the last of the Mohicans, because
Jesus Christ.
because like we grew up without the internet, so we grew up with a lot of the understanding of what it was. Like I grew up with like the same thing. Like my mom and my pops were being very adamant, like, oh, don't tell anybody like your secrets and stuff like like your
Yeah.
business secrets. And
Hell
like,
yeah.
oh, make sure if you found the hustle, like you can't put too many people on. And then when the internet came out, it flipped the whole script because now that like you could. If you're looking for the right information, you will be able to access that. So it's not there's no secrets. No
secrets.
So
Yeah.
like now you have to kind of jump in front of it, and then now I feel like a lot of people, like especially in the art community, we're understanding that like everything's a reference point pretty much. So if you can collaborate with if you can find people that are in the same wave and we can collaborate, even if we don't particularly shoot the same shit, I could end up like learning something from you that might apply for me and vice versa. It's like,
Yeah,
I
but
feel like
that-
the same parallel with
But
like
see,
hip hop.
I think
and
there
all
are
that stuff.
secrets. I think that the
I won't give up all the
No,
sauce.
but the
you know what I mean?
application of the pieces is the secrets, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not what you can do, techniques, gear, whatever. It's the application that you found that works together. And I share all that shit. But I feel like now what people strive for is being included in the conversation. Like we are literally have a bunch of flies on a wall watching us right now, right? We want to hear the podcast behind the scenes chatting. We want to, sit at that cool kid table, like watching through a porthole on there in social media. Like that, I think, is kind of the value now, right? Or
Yeah, totally,
what
it
people
is.
strive for, I don't even know.
I think that has a lot to do with it as well too. And I think people are, like humans, there's no limit to how much information we can consume. And I feel like this is the information age like more so than ever. So like I watch a bunch of shit like when the Hollywood Reporter does those roundtables with the directors and the actors. Like
Oh, yeah.
I eat shit like that up. And then like, but it's such a true point. It's like I feel like that fly on the wall. Like I get to hear what like Guillermo del Toro is saying about like this, or like if Noah Hawley says
Yeah.
about Legion or some shit like that. I'm really into that.
Well, look
And
at
I feel-
Masterclass. What the
Dude,
fuck?
the online education alone is like And I hated going to school.
Yeah, I know. He's that weird. Like now you're like, nah.
Hated school, like math, like fuck math. You know what I'm saying? Like
I can't believe I got through school.
I had like honors English and like terrible. Math.
I was on the math team. How's that?
That's crazy.
I was on the math team, and I never thought I was going to make it to high
in
school.
English and gym, I was like astounding in English and gym. But math and and science, I was actually pretty decent in science too. But like
science was my shit, and I skipped out on gym. I never went to gym.
it's just like I really like the theory of things and like actually running around and doing.
Well, there's
shit.
a result. With science, there was like you apply something and there was a result.
Yeah.
That's like what we're doing. I mean, the first photographers were scientists and chemists.
Yeah.
For a reason, because
Yeah.
we're doing something and you can see the application come to life. And I
Yeah.
think that's what everything's streamlined. When we were coming up, you shot something, you didn't know if you got it till a week later.
Yeah,
Now it's
exactly.
like right now you're
Instant.
watching shit happen.
Literally called Instagram. That's why people are obsessed with that.
Dude, I don't know what I'd be doing
Including
right now.
myself.
The fact that I can shoot live in here and just have the pictures show up is fucking insane.
But I know, like for a lot of those Nike shoots and like just shoots in general, they have like the joints where people have their cameras tethered to their iPads. So like you're literally shooting images, and the art director is telling you as you're shooting what to do. And like I haven't done shit like that. I don't know if I personally can do that
It's a
because
nightmare.
like Lord Jesus, you micromanage me like that. Dude.
Do you know
I'm
Capture
shooting.
One?
Yeah.
So Capture One has Pilot, and Pilot means that when I shoot, it goes to my laptop, but they have an iPad that they see in real time. The images come up and they can star and do whatever in another room.
See, that's different.
Yeah, when I get those art directors off my fucking neck,
That's tough.
oh, I love it. I love it.
You know, I just can't. Yeah, it's just it's an interesting thing.
Whoa, Daniel Norton in the chat. Are you in Germany right now, bro? I don't know if you left yet or not. Do you know Dan? You met Dan, right?
I probably met him once, like probably at the store.
He definitely came by the Grammys party because he was like watching my back while I was shooting at that Grammys
Oh,
party.
I definitely met him over there.
Yeah,
Then.
yeah.
You
can't miss that guy.
I was probably drunk also. We tried to lift a dude up. We tried to lift a dude up in a wheelchair and try to crowd surf. It was one of the. It was incredible. He
I think
pulled
that
up
was
to,
one of your like best events, really.
Oh, hands down. It was really fun. I mean, like we had confetti. Anything with confetti, and pretty
Well, it
much.
was like indoor, outdoor. It was so good. I was
Well,
like,
shout out to Freehold. Freehold's an amazing space.
It is an amazing space.
It's really.
yeah,
really
I haven't
good.
been there since, but
Yeah,
you know.
like I'm telling you, I'm a hermit. So I go there. Like the last time, my good friends of mine are like a DJ group called Selection. They just did like a whole brunch party over there. That was really dope. But yeah, I try to. It's been a lot of traveling. You know, we did the Complex Con thing, and we went to Grand Cayman because I worked.
Yeah,
with
how's
one of
that
my-
complex shit? Like you're.
It's a Complex Con to me is another. It really depends on how you look at this stuff. I really embrace. I try to embrace all the pros out of it because there are cons to it, but the con being that it's easy. It's the easy thing to look at, like a lot of these people like running to buy sneakers and like all this kind of crazy. It's always
The Supreme kids.
the Supreme kids, like all the crazy, like the Adidas and Nike drops and like all this other crazy stuff that people like invest into. That part of it is weird, and I never will understand that.
It's the same
'cause-
shit at Comic-Con. They're all fighting over
yeah,
different
the
pieces
same
of plastic.
shit. It's like it's this hype. It's like this hype culture is getting to a point that it's feverish, and I feel like partly it's because of like monkey see, monkey do, and also at the same time it's like people there's a whole admiration for like being able to attain things that people don't have. which
That's
is,
the
like,
thing. They're buying a cult of personality. They're how many times I've looked in Spin and Soho and see the whitest kid ever rocking some shit, and it's like waiting online at the Bape store.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you don't even know what this shit is. You really don't even know. You just know that not everyone else can have it.
Like recently, like Supreme just dropped. Like they always have like the different like box like the portrait tees that they
Yeah.
have, and then like they just dropped the Buju Banton one.
Okay.
Like I grew up in Brooklyn and Queens. Like you grew up around West Indian music. Like I'm very familiar with who Buju is. You know what I'm saying? Like there's people rocking these T-shirts who probably has no fucking idea who the hell he is. Or like even like not even make it just about the black thing. Like they did a Lou Reed T-shirt. People could be rocking a Lou Reed T-shirt and have
did a Lou Reed shirt?
But maybe like a couple years ago.
Oh,
they probably
man.
have no fucking idea who Lou Reed is. So like there's a lot of disconnect.
But does
with
it
that,
also
too.
make people that wouldn't know research and find
And then
out?
that's what you kind of have to hope for. And then that's why I always kind of lean towards. And like for Complex Con for me, we was working with a good friend of mine, Twan, who runs a company called On Lunch Break, which is like a video production company, and they specialize in film and shooting Super 16 and all that stuff. I've been working with him for the past 5 years, and then we worked together on Complex Con to like, not just we didn't want to just make a booth to sell T-shirts, because nothing against people trying to get their T-shirts off and like all that stuff. Because like I just trying to like drag them in the mud a little bit. But we made it a photo gallery and made it about all the different photographers in Chicago and gave them a platform to have photos up at ComplexCon, and then worked with Moab, did them on 33 by 44 slick rock metallic prints, foam core joints, printed them out and made a little art installation with a park bench and like the newspaper stand to make it feel like a little bit of home.
Like an actual experience.
Like an actual experience. So like you could sell the T-shirts and the sneakers and shit like that, but something like that to me and to us felt way more impactful because we're not doing.
It's not flea market.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So that's the way I looked at it. And then like, you know, there's some people who come up to the booth who are trying to do some stupid shit, like trying to sit on top of the bench, like, you know, to be extra or something like that. Or like somebody wearing like the crazy ass fit, you know, and like, but then there's also like the mom coming there with her 2 kids and like, you know, sitting on the bench because like they take, you know, that's like their first photo gallery experience. Or like,
that's true too.
There's so many different ways you can look at it. You know?
kind of forget that like where we live, there's always like things on display for you.
Yeah.
But there's people that go through a small town, clean walls, no real installations, and the galleries they go to are like local artists that like, you know, sometimes
it's different. It's a huge difference. I mean, like I get really sappy for shit. I mean, especially the older I get, really sappy for like for stuff like that because I feel like it's important. You know.
No, it is important. But we grew up around so much noise.
Yeah.
I mean, you walked a block in New York growing up. You were so jaded to the world of like not absorbing things.
Oh yeah, like get the fuck in my face.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
How many times do you have to see that sticker, that logo 100 times before you go, well, what the fuck is this?
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do suffer from being immediately anti, because growing up in New York, you just like anytime something is hyped up, sometimes you're
Get
like,
the fuck out my face.
I'm done. And like,
Everybody else is already.
I'm immediately like, oh, everybody's doing this. Like I'm gonna do that. So
Oh.
I'm naturally like that sometimes, and there is like a big like battle mentally, spiritually with that all the time. I'm like, I'm trying to be less anti and more like open.
You know,
Some things I would just
I'm
reject,
sorry,
though.
but I try to be less anti, and then the world gives me a reason to go right back to it. You know what's killing me right now? I don't know if you've seen this, but like now there's a trend for girls to pose with squids on them.
No,
Yo, it's fucking retarded. I'm like, they take a dead octopus out of a pool that they bought from like wherever. Like
why would that even be cool for? You know, like how
I
does
guarantee
that
you,
get
one
cool?
person did it once, and they go, "Oh, the textures, it looks beautiful." They paint it gold and they stick it on themselves, and I'm like, I would even give you props
Bro.
if you just took that idea and went with some other direction, but you literally are just copying some shit.
I don't believe in anything being corny, but that sounds fucking stupid.
I guarantee the first time was interesting. After that,
Maybe like the first time they did some kind of like, you know, BioShock looking kind of joint.
BioShock.
You know what I mean? Like some 1950s RT, like.
Bro, I have so much shit stuck in my head that I never got to get into, and I'm like, every time I think about it, I see it on Instagram, someone doing a horrible version of it. I'm like, I'm not gonna do it now.
Yeah, it's tough. I do have like these little thoughts that I've been thinking about. Like, you know, like my dream now is to eventually like I want to direct movies and I want to get into like directing and stuff like that. I've been more confident. I've been doing it for a little bit for like the different kind of brand work that we've been doing, but like over like this last year, I've been feeling way more confident about my skills. That's not to say that I know everything, nothing like that. But it's like I'm like investing my time into this now, and that's where I'm gonna get to. So. There's like a lot of shit that you always feel like, man, like I don't want to be a poser. You know, that's all you always go back to that feeling.
You're not a poser if you actually believe in it.
Yeah.
If you're doing it for a reason of facade, yeah, you're fucking posing, bro.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me when I do all the workshops and I see kids come with like this cookie cutter kit of like a Sony with this and that, and it's like, why'd you buy that?
And he just looked up with a straight face, like, really? Like you gonna cop that? Like really?
Because you don't even know why you bought it. You
Yeah.
don't even know why you went in that direction. You know what I mean? You saw some guy, an influencer, who influenced you to buy some shit. People got to look in themselves and make their own decisions. And it's weird. We search for this individuality, but we don't at the same time.
It's scary for people because if they make a decision by themselves, then they can't blame anybody but themselves.
That's
So if some influencer told me this is your fault I bought this is your fault that I've been listening to this music and now this dude comes out as a rapist. It was like,
oh my God.
You know, there's all this kind of things that people will easily. It's always easier to blame.
Well, it's
somebody
funny.
than
Like
yourself.
we went through this motion in the photo industry, like when me and Dan were teaching, and you'd see these kids that bought mirrorless cameras and didn't want to learn lighting, right?
Yeah.
And then they started looking like their images looked like everybody else. They put presets on it that they bought. They look like everybody else. So then they started coming out to our lighting classes because they're like, oh, well, maybe I should learn how to light so I can look a little different than the guy next to me. And that's when you start seeing the ambition.
Yeah.
Are you really in this?
Yeah.
Are you really going to start creating from scratch? Because now we're really going to find out. And it's interesting to see which kids stick with it, which ones don't. And the posing, as says it sounds, actually fuels our industry. Because they're the ones buying all the shit.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the inevitable because it's still a product-based thing. Not only is it a product-based industry that we're in, it's also we provide a service.
Yeah.
So that never will change. So I just like I try to like explain this to people all the time. Like, I mean, I get tight and upset about a lot of different things. Like, but it's like we can't deny the industry that we're in, that we choose to be in. Like there's just a lot. There's always going to be fucking qualms with it. There's always going to be fucking weirdos.
Yeah, but now we've opened the floodgates to so much, man. I mean, when I was shooting slide film, they had magazine pages. Then digital came out. They literally told me to my face, these magazines, like, oh no, we got enough people shooting for us. So you can use this as an advertisement to get jobs to shoot for other companies. I'm like, wait, I got to shoot twice as much to get paid the same amount as I was last year?
That's crazy.
Fuck you.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's what happened.
I like to preach all the time that nobody knows what they want until they see it. And my portfolio building and a lot of that stuff is a manifestation of that, because I'm not to say I was the first person to like be talking shit in captions, and like talking shit in captions is not just talking shit in captions to me. Literally, that is a stream of consciousness. I look at it as a Shakespearean approach to life. Like, instead of just
you just fucking say Shakespearean approach?
You know why? Because Shakespeare was talking about some real shit that still people talk about to this day,
Okay, we get it. You read a book.
And it's the same thing about talking about your fucking, the conversation I've been talking about R. Kelly. And like, if I'm talking shit about R. Kelly and saying that like, whatever, like, I don't think I could fly anymore. You could go back in the next 30 years and then read a caption and understand the context of time because you read my caption. And that's the way that I've been looking at it. But like, people look at me talking about like, oh, this dude's just random.
Oh, dude, look at all the heartbreak that's happening from things that were built on foundations. Cosby, who was a foundation of comedy. I mean, fucking Michael Jackson with this fucking HBO shit.
I did not watch that HBO shit.
Okay.
There was the one place I will say this, like, I don't care if the internet rips me. I just can't watch the HBO thing. I know that Michael probably did it, but I'm not gonna watch that HBO.
Okay, there was a 2-part special.
Thriller is still fire. Like it's a difference between Michael Jackson and R. Kelly is way different. I don't care what anybody says.
Yo, all I know is that HBO shit. There's 2 parts to that Michael Jackson shit. No one made it to part 2. No one watched. Nobody I know watched part 2, man. Part 1 was hard, man.
Tough.
It was hard to watch that.
Not Michael.
Even
R. Kelly, fuck R. Kelly, dude. Like,
Michael or not, what those guys are saying, I was like, that was making me sick.
Yeah, it's weird. It's just weird, It's just fucking weird.
But we never had so much transparency. I mean, we were literally documented to death. When we met somebody online, like, you could not find out who they were. The email addresses were anonymous. Now, like, your email is steveirby@gmail.com. Like, internet 3.0 here. We're like, we are.
Man, I mean, we used to have to get a CD to get, like, for AOL updates, you know what I'm saying? Like, ASL and all that.
Do you remember we were flooded with free AOL discs?
Flooded with the free AOL disc. It's funny how like every time like some crazy software drops, like they literally ship you CDs. Like AOL shipped you CDs, Netflix used to send you the fucking DVDs.
Yeah,
like we lived in an era where they we were at the precipice of all this fucking like internet shit. So like now like you just are at the point where now you have all this information just running rampant. Some of it's fake, some of it's true, some of it you got to do a little bit extra research for. So like all these documentaries about the things that people already knew. It's like they're resurfacing now, but people have been saying this shit. Not to dismiss it, but it's like, this is not the first time we heard about a lot of this stuff, So it's just a crazy time to be in.
Not for nothing, like ooh, what a shock! Someone who has power abused it. It's the level they abused it at, which is like child rape.
Yeah, that's some other
shit. That's. Oh God, it makes me sick.
It's crazy, dog.
Look at what's going on out there. There's like photographers being called out left and right right now.
Yeah.
I mean, like big time guys, 2 million follower thing, people getting called out.
I mean, it's honestly, it's been a it's always been a constant. It's always been like a conversation that comes up between not only like the homies, but also like with my girl or like with anybody. Like we're always talking about this because there is this weird thing that's also happening that's been this has been happening for a long time too, because this is not the first time that you heard stories about photographers doing weird, creepy shit, but just it happening in the digital age with like the new influencers of this thing is just fucking gross and it's rapey and it feels like these motherfuckers should be getting arrested. Dude. Like this is actually like there's a lot of it, like not to be like I'm not fucking Captain Planet or some shit like that, and I'm like, and I know my girlfriend is always mad at me about something that I did, but at the same time, it's like there is a huge line that these people are crossing where they're using their influence, they're fucking trying to get money out of
pictures
these people.
Of girls. And shit.
You're stockpiling nudes, like motherfucker, what are you doing that?
Yeah,
like, a lot of this stuff is just weird. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's not even weird. It's frivolous and it's damaging for nothing. I mean, fuck, dude. Like. That's
you can just, if you want to stockpile news, just go to fucking Pornhub. You know, you can literally
but that's what I'm saying,
can literally
like,
Google that.
People got thrown into the level of like legendary pro status without having any professional demeanor. They never learned to earn it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They never assisted people, grinded, tried to afford that gear, tried to get that studio time, spend the time of themselves to better themselves. No, they just found a really quickly the cool kid. Everyone wanted to work with him. Terry Richardson. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, fuck,
he
dude.
was one of I mean, I know this has been happening for a while, but Terry Richardson's case was like one of the first ones I've heard about. Like that was like over. Like, it feels like it was
forever ago.
It was years ago. Like, and he's disappeared off the face of the earth. And now like the whole thing, I forgot the dude's name, but one of them was Marcus Hyde, and the other one was like this other dude. Like, but it was like, when you're hearing these stories, it's like. It's honestly some of the craziest shit, and I'm not saying that it doesn't happen in other industries. I'm pretty sure it happens in all these different
anywhere
forms of
there's
industries.
power, it happens.
You know, but it's just like when you hear about it, it's weird, it's rapey, and I'm like, you know, I have a 7-year-old. My sister is 7 years younger than me, so like she's 25. Just a lot of things that you just think. I'm like, if somebody were, saying something like asking my sister for like. Send me nudes for a free shoot, or like you had to pay $2,000
for a free shoot. I understand on a social level, like you're actually gonna have some casual relationship. I understand that shit, but when you start mixing, you want something from me, well, I want nudes. Like where? First of all, what the fuck is the value in a bunch of what? Because you could get it.
It's mind-boggling, dog. It's mind-boggling, and it is fucked. And hopefully that there's more people that. Just come out and just keep on saying like, this is fucking weird. This dude's a creep. And then like keep on putting people like that on the different kind of pedestal of them being like, instead of like promoting these people's careers and like getting in all this other shit, like, put this dude on blast for being a fucking weirdo.
Well, brands are stepping up. Brands are like, if you use any of their images in your publications, we're not advertising in your shit anymore, and that's a big deal. But man, I don't know, like. There's no answer to it because there's always going to be someone abusing something out there.
Yeah, no, and that abuse of power, like it's been happening for a long time. But I'm just this is not the time to do that shit now, though. And then hopefully there is more people more situations that come out like that, because you just hope that.
Hopefully it doesn't get weaponized either. Like there could be people that didn't do anything that get weaponized because of some stupid shit.
It works both ways.
I mean, it's very different. It's like,
but it does happen.
It does happen. I mean, all of it happens.
I have one of my friends from back home, like, in Queens. I remember, like, he was in college, and like some girl, he had consensual with a girl. Like, he's a black dude, slept with a white girl. The white girl's like parents found out or something like that, and then like try to say that he raped her, and then like he almost got charged. But then like the charges were dropped because like this is like weird, envious, racist shit that happens. But like this stuff is happening in real time. It could ruin this dude's life just be, like, So there's two sides of it that I am totally conscious of. And then like when you get the other side of like when you got Marcus Hyde and all these other, et cetera, and like not to say like he's the only one. You have a bunch of other fucking dudes like doing weird shit like that too. Like,
not for nothing, man. There was the collective. They dropped people left. And, there was some shit that
happened.
Yeah,
dude. I remember that was last year. Yeah.
There was that Kingy King kid. Yep. I almost got into it, that kid, like in person and all that shit. And I was like, there's no way this kid's gonna fucking last. And then that shit came out, and I was like, good. Bye. Because
when you meet, and then the part that kills me about those situations, because I remember meeting him at like one of the Kando trips where they fly you out to like, so it's like a business trip. They fly you out to California, and he was on one of the trips, and like, you know, these people, I'm not going to sit here in front and say like, I knew he was a shitty dude. Like, they don't give you, like, they just have like two different facades almost, you know what I'm saying? And like, that's the part that's unsettling. That's the only way. That's the only way to really put it. Like,
well, no one's a creep to your face all the time. You know what I mean?
Then it's crazy. You know, so like nobody's perfect. And, you know, like you know, even to tie it all together too. Like, did you get to see the Aziz Ansari stand up?
I didn't see the new one.
The new one is fucking phenomenal, and he does a really great job of like articulating not everything, and some parts of it get a little dark, but at the same time, like, he just is real and is honest and is transparent, and I think he did a really great job of like talking about his situation.
I gotta watch that.
Where I feel like people like, where I feel like there needs to be, not everything is going to be a comedy special, like when you just like describe something like that, but there is like a sense of responsibility to it that I admire, that I feel like there, like, you have to heal and you have to go past this point. So like, obviously you can't be stuck on it, but like, damn, dude,
well,
don't just do this fucking weird shit to get in this situation in the first place.
See, but that's what I think is happening right now, is that we're taking this hit, like this industry is taking this hit, and it has to heal, because I don't know about you, but when I meet girls like on a social level, I don't even tell them I'm a photographer for a living, because they already think you're either creep or broke.
Yeah, I just tell people my name is Steve.
I know. I just go, I wait till we trade Instagrams to go, oh, what's all this stuff? I'm like, yeah, I fuck with zombies.
I'm a zombie.
Yeah.
No big deal.
I kind of luck out because what I shoot isn't like nude girls or whatever, like, which is like 90% of guys shoot. I shoot fucking psychotic clowns.
Yeah.
So like, I don't fucking.
But then like those kind of niches are like the beauty of that whole nerd culture that people are into. Like, while you're shooting clowns and like really being cool with like costume designers and makeup designers and all that stuff like that, you don't know what's going to happen in the next 3 years if Netflix makes a special and they've been following your work and then they put you on.
Yeah.
They did the same thing. They did the same thing with the Stranger Things people who make the music. They were just like some techno dudes that had been techno dudes making music, and the Stranger Things directors heard about them. They reached out to them, and then now they've been making beats for the Stranger Things for the past 3 seasons. Okay, like, people find these niches now, like these little niches and pockets where it's a very, we're living in a very like, what are you into and what are you good at? Because there's so much of it.
That's not enough though. Like, you have to constantly be out there.
Yeah, that's true.
You can't have done something and go, no, it's out there. No, they're not hunting for it.
No, they're not hunting for it.
That's why people repost things from, like, I'm putting up old work now because I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about this one.
Yeah.
It's dead. It had 50 likes 4 years ago. Let me throw that fucking thing back up. You have to constantly stay at it. This idea that people think, I learned how to do this, now tomorrow I'll get paid for it, is fucking ridiculous.
It's insane.
Like, you have to get it.
You have to get that out of your head. It doesn't work like that.
You have to create your own opportunities. I'm a big believer in that.
I mean, like, that's why we're having this conversation, because we both feel.
Well, you're in the studio right now because I made a connection to Adorama. You made the connection to Adorama. We both kept on doing what we're doing. And then I fucking shot at your event. And now you're here talking to my audience.
Yeah, I mean, I have a weird vetting out process with people too. I definitely like, I always just like keep like, just see what's going on and make sure that they're cool and like they're PC. But I do that with everybody. I just don't make it obvious, you know. But you have to evaluate. You have to not to say, you have to choose your friends wisely. My grandma, like, even though she was my slang for Jehovah's Witnesses are J-dubs. So even though she's a J-dub, one of the things that I really live by is this scripture, 1 Corinthians 15:33. It says, bad association spoils useful habits. I fucking live by that shit. Bad association could be the people you hang out with, the dumb shit you watch it on TV, the shit that you're reading, the shit that you feel in your head with. I try to really get away from all this negative stuff, because it's toxic, dude. Like, what if you hang around with somebody all day that's just complaining about their work? You eventually think your work is gonna suck.
You know, it's so easy to complain, right? And I feel like this is such an old saying, but like, you got to be around people that are better than you.
Yeah.
That's how you keep on elevating yourself. You know what I mean? And I always see these people, especially in the event space, they come in and they're like the leader of this group of people they shoot with, and it's like, yeah,
they come in like,
oh fuck, it's like yeah, it's easy to be like that big fish, small pond bullshit, but come on a real set. Let's fucking,
you know, what actually happens if you know, like, can you actually handle your shit?
Yeah.
You know, can you actually
but what do you
articulate a point? You know,
how much do you need your ego stroked that you stay around that? You know what I mean? Like, honestly, the second I get too comfortable is I'm like, there's something up here. Like, there's another level. I always think there's another level, and I get psychotically obsessive over, like, how do I get there? And now it's like, okay, well, if I start live streaming every Saturday, then da-da-da-da-ba-ba-ba-ba. Like, there has to be a reason for tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree
And
with
everyone
that.
that just sits around just goes
Really
like,
well said.
yeah, you know what I mean? There just has to be a reason that you're going to do what you do tomorrow. And there has to be a reason that you're going to get up that day. And when I come in here and it's a blank slate, I go, oh, cool, I got this mannequin. Fuck it. I'm going to set some lights up and we're going to do some shit. That's the way it's got to be.
I dig that, dude. And then I feel like I'm definitely like, I try to stay productive, even if this is the day that I'm gonna lay in the bed and smoke a joint for the first 2 hours. Like I do so much random research on things where people don't quote unquote think it's important, but
It's
I
pre-production.
go through everything. I listen to like all the interviews from like Hot 97 to Power 105.
Jesus Christ.
I do all those. I do like all the different like photography sessions that are people doing. I do like the Gamer Ranks joints. I do like
Game
ESPNs. I do like literally I'm tackling all these different forms of culture and like you just completely staying informed. And then like when I start to apply this stuff, like the reason why I get to work with the Knicks is because I know what the fuck is going on. You know,
Yeah.
like I've been like not only as a
It's
fan,
true.
but I can tell you like the temperature of the free agency because I've been looking at this stuff and I know what's going on, so I can know how to direct my videos. I know what kind of things to do. So like, even like working with Astro Gaming, I love Astro Gaming. I've been trying to put you guys in contact with them all the time.
We got to get a...
But I watch Gamer Ranks all the time, so I could go anytime I talk to Aaron. Shout outs to Aaron. I could talk about like I seen you guys. You guys just got your headphones reviewed on there. It's a really good look for you guys.
Yeah.
Like so, I'm really.
It's personable.
It's personable. So it's not just about photography, but the photography links through all these.
Oh, no.
different
If you're
avenues, you know?
documenting life, you need to understand life.
Yeah.
And one of the things that, I don't know if you picked this up, but like you'll watch Game Ranks and forget about the topic, it's their approach.
Oh, they
and
killed
then
it.
you
Like,
put
the
it
dude,
to
the
something
Falcon,
else. Falcon is the
he's a
fucking
genius,
man.
dude. He's the fucking man. He's a genius. And then the dude
He
that
won't show
merchant-
his face either.
I know, and it's smart though because that's the same kind of thing that I've been trying to do
He's
in my own
ominous.
ways. Like I'm really cool with the illustrator named he goes by Lubot on Instagram. Louis Chen is like a phenomenal illustrator. I'm trying to create myself into a cartoon character, Steve Sweatpants, and kind of like detach Steve Irvy to have the avatar as Steve Sweatpants to be like this cartoon.
That's
image.
what's so ironic is the beginning, my whole career, I was faceless and never used my name.
Yeah.
Like if you look at any old media from me, you never saw Seth Miranda, you saw Last Witness, and you never saw my fucking name, and I hid my tattoos,
Yeah.
and that was all graffiti culture shit. And now I'm like, yo, my name's Seth, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah.
I'm here. It's like the same thing like me it's the same thing with me like for hip hop. Like hip hop for me was all about like, it's always about finding like the hardest bars, like knowing all the Jay-Z words and there's like, finding the next new thing. And then now like hip hop was a source of discovery, you know what I mean? They taught me how to like search for things, and like it's the same
that's
thing with like
interesting.
photography. Like I'm always on the search for some like another dope photographer or like another different style or like all these different little reference points
See,
that I kind of
hip
go
hop
back
taught
to.
me quality of conversation. When I found Aesop Rock and like those guys from like Def Jux, I was like, this is quality conversation. All that shit that they're pushing on you is garbage.
It's garbage, yeah.
And but see, like punk and hardcore, like it all was like saying the same message no matter where you went for it because it was all underground. There was no like hardcore that was like fucking enormous. But like mainstream fucking hip hop is fucking garbage.
Oh yeah, it's the new pop. Mainstream hip hop is the new pop.
What the fuck?
But it's crazy that I think people are understanding it now. But it's been like that for easily 20 years.
I
dog.
believe it.
Easily 20 years.
Dude,
When's the last time you really started to like? What's the last real super poppin' like rock band that could go around and sell out just as much as like a Jay-Z or a Drake?
I know.
I can't tell you.
know.
I can't, and honestly can't tell you. But you want to say like
Taylor Swift?
and she's biting off a routine of a Beyonce now. So it's like this is why I'm informed over things that's happening, and it's just crazy to see. So like I agree with a lot of points of it. Like that's why you end up being anti a lot of the things because it's like the most like heavily I guess coveted and produced thing now. But there is still like really big gems. Like I love Freddie Gibbs and Madlib's new album is like some fine art shit to me because it's like real production and like real. Like
I can't sift through it. I gotta tell you, I can't sift through new hip hop.
Yeah, but it's totally understandable.
I don't know where to even go because every time someone puts something on, I'm like, I can't.
You're like, nah.
I can't find what's golden about that. Like so much shit out there. I still, when I open up music, even in here, people are like, you still listen to this? I'm like, yeah, because I know it.
But it's like my roommate has one of like the most eclectic music tastes ever. And like when we in the crib,
that's lucky.
we listen to like as much as I love hip hop, I love like jazz the same way. I was in the orchestra for 4 years. I played the saxophone, like in the 4th grade and 5th grade. Like I played the saxophone for maybe about a year, and then I went to play the violin for a couple of years, and I played the cello, and I played all these fucking different instruments. So I understand.
You multimedia motherfucker over
Just
here.
understand.
Jeez.
Like, I just like to play. I was always hands on. Like even like with my
That's
pops,
the
it's
thing,
like
tangible.
It's like I want to fucking. I don't want to just be sitting here. I'm trying to do something. I'm
trying to do something.
There's really no other way to put it. Like I'm trying to do something.
Oh, dude, I don't even know. Like, well, Patty Mate says your grandmother's absolutely correct.
No, honestly, I'm happy that she told me that. That's I was a hard-headed kid, so that's one of the only things that really stuck.
You know, people say that shit. I think that's a product of growing up in New York because they always think I'm angry. They always think I'm fucking hard-headed.
I would get that a lot.
Bro, you're surrounded by shit that's constantly trying to penetrate your skull.
So like my reaction is not anger, it's just being direct.
Yeah,
I always just
you have no
say,
time. You have no fucking time.
Like,
I do that Adorama Rewind show, and all the comments always start like, "Yeah, no bullshit. I like the way you approach." I'm like, "What are you watching? What do they do? Do they tap dance for 5 minutes before they fucking tell you what's up?"
There ain't nobody over here shucking a job, man.
The thing is, we're not YouTubers. We're not like putting on some gimmick look to get people to view our shit. We're trying to actually do something that'll sustain out there.
Yeah.
There's legacies to be had, kids.
I'm very big into this weird sense of, I think growing up a J-Dub, I stopped going when I was like around 14 or 15, but I still respect, and I'm not a religious person, but I'm very spiritual. I'm really obsessed with this idea of immortality and like what that means to like create something, because it really lasts forever, you know, like, so when I'm long and gone, like I'm really trying to leave something here that if I were to have like a footprint in the world, like at least I could make some kind of a dent, because there's things happen every fucking day so fast that you can be forgotten.
We
tomorrow.
absorb it and it just goes away.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's the other part about like this endless consumption of information. Like it doesn't stop.
It doesn't stop.
No. So like you could be. I do have a fear of being forgotten, but not in the way of like, life moves on, but meaning like, what did you do? Did you work at GameStop for your whole life?
100%.
Selling a fucking membership? Like that's horrifying.
That's why it's like, that's why I call people civilians that aren't us.
Yeah.
The guy that has to like get up, go to a taupe cubicle, Instagram his lunch, and then look forward to a 2-week vacation of doing nothing. I can't take vacations.
Yeah.
I can't sit still. There's some shit to be doing out there.
Yeah.
What the fuck? And also, you work freelance. There's no such thing.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, I feel like everything, like, even though like I get stressed out from work, it doesn't still feel like I'm actually working.
Yeah, right.
So it's not the same kind of stress.
We're so fortunate. It's crazy.
I'm like, my dad used to say that all the time, and I literally say this on every single thing that I do, and I will say it till like I'm blue in the face. Like, don't live to pay your rent. And then like, it never made sense to me until like I turned 25 and I woke up like, oh shit, like I hate what I do.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Dude, after a while, you realize you're just recycling your paycheck. Like it gets spent on rent, everything else, and then you're back to the same place you started. It's like, you have to understand, like the way I look at freelance work is like dating, right? You have to make yourself worth dating or being hired. So you have to work on yourself till you're of value, and then you stick at that.
Yeah.
If they want to give it to somebody else because they'll do it for free, let them fucking eat their time up. Because guess what?
Sure.
Tomorrow there's another fucking production going on.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, just fucking move forward. You know.
We happen to live in, I would say, the capital of the world. You know what I mean? Like New York is the most pop. Like LA is popping, Chicago is popping, London is popping. You know. But there is no energy that you feel like when you're flying into New York or you're coming into New York. And then we happen to be actually born and raised from here.
Well, I feel lucky.
It adds a whole nother level of like, I feel like there's moral obligation to do dope shit. It's like, I'm so proud of like that my mom is from Brownsville, that my pops, even though he's from the South, he was raised up in Crown Heights his whole life.
Oh, yeah.
Like this is deep-rooted New Yorker shit that I
Dude,
feel like we're
I'm
passing
here
on the
because of the
mantle.
fucking Holocaust.
Yeah,
my
crazy.
father's from Greece. They got here after his parents survived the Holocaust. I mean, I could have been born anywhere in the fucking world.
Yeah, but you were born here.
Here, you know what I mean? And whenever I do this kind of stuff and people like make fun of like, oh, the Brooklyn reflectors that I make and shit, like, it's like, I'm so proud of being New York that like, how could you not? And if you're not, like, are you fucking warped? What weight you have just being like, I got a head start on the world being grown up here. Like,
you can't like. I mean, this is like how full circle it is for me too. Like my mom being from Brownsville, my mom she was. I'm not gonna tell her how old she is, but she's from the '60s. She grew up with Mike Tyson. Like they grew up in the same projects.
That's
and then
insane.
like she used to remember like people interacting with him and like him like being on the rooftop and stuff like that. And then fast forward in that issue that you got to shoot in issue 13, I got a Ricky Powell portrait of Mike Tyson like in a bathing robe. It was like little stuff like that photo means a little bit more to me because of the stories that she told me all my whole life about like Mike Tyson being in the projects, and remember when he moved up to like upstate because of the boxing thing and blah 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 blah. Like now I'll be able to. This is like I honestly can't put it into words of how much it means to me to not only
It's
like be an
special
editor
at
for a
that
magazine
point.
but a photographer too. Like
In a world of abundance, you get these moments of like things that were just for you, kind of these moments, and like how could you not cherish that kind of shit?
No, I eat it up. That chasing that nostalgia shit. That's why I fuck with it so much of being in New York.
Everybody's chasing nostalgia right now. Steve and Seth, if you had the time and could travel to any location, where would you go? What kind of project would you like to do? Project does not necessarily need to be photography related. Jeez, god damn. If I go anywhere in the world,
I don't know if I could do the hike, but I really want to go to Nepal. I think Nepal is insane to me for some reason. The colors, the mountains, the
little
people.
skips brainwashed you.
No.
You know what I'm talking about?
Is that the photography dude on YouTube?
No, Little Skips is that coffee place in Bushwick that got the 2 spots.
God.
Yeah,
Dude.
some of the proceeds go to Nepal.
And honestly, I didn't even know about Little
They got
Skips.
it. They got to you. They got to you.
There's probably word of mouth was just seeping into my brain.
No, Nepal looks beautiful.
But it just looks nuts. And I mean, honestly, like, I've always had this, between that and like, I want to go back to the motherland. I want to go back to Africa. We actually in the preliminary stages of going to Africa for Street Dreams. For South Africa, we wanted to do a gallery in Johannesburg. I'm really obsessed with this
cool.
2020 concept because it's never going to be 2020 again. So, doing something in Africa would be, just be an absolute insanity to me.
2020.
Never went to Africa, so that would be crazy. So I tossed up between that and Nepal. Like Nepal, I don't need to get paid for anything, dog. I would go there with just straight like either disposable cameras or or even just a film joint. Like if any way that I could get over there, because it just seems like the most rawest form of photography for me right now. Cuba was amazing. I could go to Cuba any day of the week, but Nepal is you don't see no black folks over there, dude. When the black folks you see going to Nepal like that. So that's another thing. I always love to go where it seems like it's just a random place where black people you don't see black people. Like Switzerland, try to go there. I gotta go. New Zealand, gotta go there.
Jesus fuck, man.
But New Zealand is scary.
New Zealand looks fucking dope. I mean, fucking Peter Jackson made a whole world out of it.
Dog, seriously. And that's mind-boggling to even think about.
I mean, I don't know where I'd go. I'll say Adorama's opened up locations to me more than anything. I mean, they've been throwing me all over the world. I can't fucking hate. I just got it from Tokyo. I mean, I never thought I would go to Tokyo.
I can't wait to go there.
Oh my God, it's amazing. I don't know where I'd go. I don't even know what I would want to see in a location. I don't know. It sounds so disheartening, but I'm not inspired at all to go somewhere. I'm more psyched to see what else I can produce. So I get hyped off of finding my next level, not so much hunting what's outside of myself, if that makes sense.
I know what you mean.
So I think it's those little moments in here, like that, the shit that's happened in this room of the achievements I've come through in my career alone. I don't know, but location-wise, I don't fucking know. Antarctica, just see what the fuck's up. See what the fuck's up.
What's going down? Traveling. This is the first year that I've been traveling a consistent amount. This year I went to Amsterdam. I went to London, Amsterdam.
Oh, we're doing that in
Grand
September.
Cayman. Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're gonna love it. It's honestly really
Well, I was shot in Amsterdam last year. I did that latex model on Adorama TV.
Amsterdam is such a and then the museums are insane. Like
the
Van
stuff
Gogh
that it's
Museum
not
is
known
beautiful.
for is what Amsterdam's cool.
Yeah, I love the canal, not just the fact, not just the canal.
The shape of it.
The shape of it.
It's like a star of canals.
It's crazy. It looks like a snail almost. if
Dude,
you
the
look down.
trains are sick.
Oh, I haven't been on the train.
How efficient is their public
They
transit?
have a tram that runs right down the middle of the block where people just hop on, hop off. It was like, this is kind of fire.
Yeah, the whole thing was fucking lit. I mean, We go every year for IBC, and fucking, it's the most efficient trains I've ever seen in my life. They're clean as fuck, and they are always there. Like, I mean, what's up, MTA?
Yeah, Lord Jesus, talk about MTA.
Holy shit, dude, we've been going for 2 hours.
I didn't know that.
Holy shit.
That's not bad.
That's not bad. That was pretty fast. You guys have any last questions in the chat? I know we kind of ignored you. We were on like our own tick here, but yeah, I figured I'd get more guests coming in. My man's in my hood, so fuck it. We actually traveled. But
I needed to see the office though.
Nah, man. I mean, if you want to get down, we can fucking come up with something to do in here. I'll fucking do some shit.
Yeah, I'm down.
I don't know what you want to do, but we can do it. I mean, I know you guys want to do some lighting classes and stuff.
Oh no, the lighting classes, like there's definitely like that's the things that we're working on. I'm so ashy, dude.
You're black as fuck, bro.
Look at this doll. Like it looks great.
What the fuck are you doing?
I need to put some cocoa butter on.
I probably have something back there. I got glycerin probably.
But we're dropping the Street Dreams website this fall.
Oh.
And there's all these different different kind of like TV programming like that we want to come out, like TV. That's what we call it, Street Dreams TV. There's all these different kind of programming channels that we want to make. The online education shit, dude. Like there has to be. I'm tired of like going to other people's shit. Like now I'm trying to have people come to my shit, you know. And then like not because like I think it's deemed the best one, more or less is like we're gonna have it curated to be the most efficient thing for.
It's a YouTube channel?
It will be. I'm definitely gonna do a YouTube channel too. So like I was gonna have KO to help me out with it too. So definitely go back and forth like because it's nowhere yet. But like a lot of this stuff is like that we're about to level up.
Yeah, well, you guys are good because even if you get half your audience from any of your platforms to join you there, you have a head start. So like, how could you not?
You have to.
Yeah.
We've been playing ourselves by not doing it already. But you know, everything comes with time, and a lot of this, I'm happy that it actually worked out this way, but I don't want it to go any further. You know, that's exactly how I feel about that.
Well, what you got to do is after you solidify that, as you approach the trade shows, and be like, how about we have our own Street Dreams stage or some shit?
Like, because this is the same thing even for myself individually as well too. Like the last thing I'm working on is my website.
Maybe do a live with Steve using strobe, speed light, and
he's like, how to use strobes for dummies, and then you see my face is like,
you know how to use strobes. You know, you can't be that.
I'm not that bad, but you know, I just don't know. I'm not gonna sit there and try to talk about something that I don't know. I'm just trying to.
I'll fucking pull out strobes right now and show you what's up.
I need to use the bathroom so bad.
No, go for it. We're gonna call it out anyway.
Oh.
Listen, guys, thanks to Steve for joining us. Yay! He's gonna go use the bathroom. Make sure you take your mic off so you're not hearing you take a piss.
Hear that. I don't think anybody wants to hear that.
Oh man, that was a lot. That really we went from kid rape to Governor.
But those are the best conversations when you can get all of them. It's like, nah, that's a good one.
Listen, we'll probably do some more stuff. I want to do more stuff like on location, like us walking the bridge. Maybe we'll do it on. Oh, you want to go to the bathroom? Yeah. Okay. So that key that's next to the door, go out in the hall, make a right at the end of the hall.
You can just give me like a Poland Spring bottle, I'll piss in the bottle.
That key, the men's key, make a right, and then at the end of the hall, it's on the left side. Okay, so, thank you guys so much for joining us on this. We're gonna see what's up in here. Maybe I'll show him how to use some strobes. Who knows? He can teach you a whole bunch about social, that's for sure. He's got a lot of great insight, and I like that we're both New York kids who are in the same hood, so we'll probably do some more stuff. I'd really like to walk the bridge that we just talked about and maybe do it live on Instagram. Let me know what you guys want to see. Write me down in the comments below. I mean, if you want to keep the mic on, for sure there's a market for that. Yeah, the R. Kelly market. I heard he loves a lot of fucking urination noise. So yeah, thanks so much for being part of this. Let me know if you guys want to do more of these guest talks. I know my channel is all over the place, but I do want to keep it live. Last week's was pretty rad where we had an open topic. Really, really great stuff. Thank you so much for being part of this. If you guys want to support the channel, be sure to hit the links down in the description down below. Doing anything through my affiliate link at Adorama helps this channel, and buying some merch definitely helps out this channel if you want to get something to support what's going on. You can follow Steve at Steve Sweatpants on Instagram, and follow Street Dreams Mag, and and if you want to see what we were talking about, the Street Dreams Grammys parties or whatever, on my Instagram, Last Ex Witness. If you scroll down and see portraits of people that are 4 at a time and crazy color gels all over them, those are the photos from that event. All right, guys, I'm gonna call it. This was a long one. Jeez, I didn't even realize we talked for 2 hours. I'll see you guys next time. Later.